Good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening, and welcome to the adventures of the 11th Ornament. We are joined tonight by, should be the full cast, first time in a little while. We've had the full cast. We're still waiting on a couple of our members to join in with us. I want to apologize to those of you who might be watching this later, trying to catch up with the story. We had actually a bunch of really cool stuff going on in this last arc, but apparently Twitch got borked and it has no audio, so you'll just have to wonder in silence about what happened in Waterdeep when the party first arrived. But I will give a brief overview of the story thus far, and I'm going to go into a fair amount of detail actually because I'm not sure where we lost contact. So this would be a great recap episode since we have the whole party back here. Just put everything on paper, not on paper, on stream, so that I can come back later and check this episode when I forget what happened. So, without further ado, previously on the 11th Ornament, our adventuring guild, known as mercenary group really, known as the 11th Ornament, had traveled at some point to the Moonshay Islands, there to help one of their party free their family from enslavement. They fought against a tyrannical government and overthrew a dictator on Snowdown, and uncovered a plot that she had to recreate a powerful, titanic, magical artifact from before the dawn of time. She did not succeed. The party thwarted her, destroyed her, and saved millions, not millions, thousands of lives, certainly, tens of thousands. However, unfortunately, due to the events that she had already placed in motion, and unbeknownst to the party, they did unfortunately awaken the Titan progenitor of that magical artifact, Cernunnos, the Green Man, the Horned God. And as he erupted from the earth, tearing the city apart in the meantime, the party could do nothing but stare on in awe and surprise and flee, having not within their arsenal the tools to defeat such a foe. They did ultimately come up with a plan. They met with a number of global leaders, including the Emperor of Am, who had dominion over Snowdown, and the other rulers of the other nations in the Moonshay Isles, and were hired, retained, if you will, to deal with this threat, as over the next couple of days, Cernunnos' incredible ability to cause rampant and vibrant growth ripped across the island, causing massive trees to erupt from the earth, creatures to regress to primordial, prehistoric versions of their evolutionary forms, grow massive in size, and even had a natural effect on those surviving denizens of the realms of Snowdown, transforming them into bestial creatures. This plight needs to be stopped, and the party has discerned that they will need to speak to the original deity who cast the Titans out of Faerun in order to get this done. There is one Titan, well, a couple, but one known Titan who was not cast out of the planet of Toril when the rest were sent to Aber, its kind of sister planet, by Ao, the Overgod. And that Titan was Ubtao, an individual, a deity, who had sided with the other gods in favor of relative order over chaos. The party traveled to a temple where they could meet with Ubtao, deep below the ruins of Port Nyanzaru, and asked him how to proceed, and were instructed to seek out Ao for his assistance in banishing Cernunnos back to whence he came. Ubtao was able to provide them with a ferryman's token, a gold coin that would allow them to purchase travel upon the river Styx to the demesne of Ao. one of the only ways to get to where Ao exists, if Ao will allow it, as the river Styx travels in some way through all planes, sometimes minorly, but uh, with this direction in mind, they discerned that they would need to travel deep into the Underdark to find the current location of where the river Styx barely creeps into the material plane, deep underground in a lake bed, excuse me, near Minzo Baranzan, the capital city of the Drow people. Seeing a daunting task ahead of them and quite a deadline to complete it, seeing as Cernunnos's growth has already consumed the entire island of Snowdown and threatens to overrun all of the Moonshays before too long, the party has traveled to Waterdeep, there to approach a group of Drow, whom they learned about from the Harpers, called the Bregan de Earth, a group of Drow who have absconded from the matriarchy, all male Drow who are attempting to find a way to live and create their own society on the surface, away from the tyranny of the matriarchy of the Drow kingdom below. So the party had come to Waterdeep. They got into a minor side quest. It was really nothing. They did accidentally expose the red moon of Gehenna over all of Waterdeep and the surrounding area, which has had an unfortunate effect on our Twilight cleric Vale, who has a particular connection to the moon and has been affected in his magic somehow, though he himself is unsure exactly how. This was all done within an encounter with some incredibly powerful ancient vampires that were nested nearby. And so Vale is going through some unusual, unpredictable, unprecedented strife with his casting here. And the clerics to his god Selûne were unable to help him at this time, telling him that they would be able to cast a powerful cleansing spell at the full moon. But that's weeks away. So we rejoin the party now, as they have discovered the festival known as the Sea Maidens Fair. It's a circus performing traveling show that has been here in Waterdeep for some time, a month or two, and they have discerned that the Bregan de Earth, the kind of breakaway faction of the Drow, are hiding behind the front of this fair in some way. Last time we met, Vale had used his true seeing to cut through the illusory depictions of the ships that hold the performers and the props and the everything for the fair, and had noticed that while all of the performers and actors and sort of entertainment aspect of it was completely legitimate, exactly as it seemed to be, and running apparently profitably and well-oiled machine, the logistical portion, the actual traveling, sailing portion of this fair, are all Drow, hidden under a powerful illusion. The party had paid a half-troll clown leader of the fair for an introduction, a chance to meet with one of the captains. Oh goodness. Oh no. Why have you done this to me? My mouse, it betrays me. So, I think that I've pretty much caught us up. Do you guys have any questions? Did I miss anything? Do we have everyone yet?
I believe we're missing AJ still.
We have Chavis.
Hello.
Yeah, we
Hi!
have Chavis.
Oh yeah, Sid. I always forget that Sid can't see.
I can only see I can only see the actual stream.
Yeah, we have a Chavis.
Wunderbar, wunderbar indeed. So some of you guys have kind of missed various episodes along the way. Do you guys have any questions about what has happened in the last couple of in the last arc? Um, Anything about where you're at now while I frantically come up with what I was looking for?
So just so I'm pretty sure I got this right, but I better safe than sorry. We are currently about to meet with renegade drow folk that we think could lead us to the Underdark where the River Styx runs through, so that we can maybe get a passage to Payo. That's generally what we're about to try to do, right?
I'm not sure what the party's intentions are. I never am. It's crapshoot every time. But why don't I give you guys about 30 minutes 30 minutes in game. Sorry, not 30 minutes right now. 30 minutes before you are supposed to meet back here at the docks to be escorted aboard and speak with the captain of the ship called the Hellraiser.
Well,
Um,
Alucard definitely went to the.
mhm.
Oh, we already know this.
Yeah,
I
you
don't
already.
know if
Yeah,
it,
you already.
I think,
You already
but
did
did it
all
happen
that.
off stream?
It did happen off. Everything in the last
happened-
couple of sessions happened off stream because there was no audio.
Because of the situation. Okay, well, he struck out with the Earth Genasi woman,
He
which
did.
brings him, which means he has a.
He really didn't though. Like he really hit a very deep emotional place that he needed to get to for his own mental health. And if he thinks that's striking out, then I
I
mean,
mean,
We need to have a different conversation.
If
Uh,
he, if you were to ask, if
he did not land.
if the party
the
asked
did
him
not do what he
whether
was
he
trying
was
to do.
successful,
He
he
did
would say
not-
he was not.
Yes,
But
he didn't
Alucard's
get
not
off.
going to admit.
He did give some peace and quiet to his own mind.
If the party asked him, Alucard would say he struck out, and he would never admit that he cried
Hard.
due to this
Real bad,
situation.
right?
Sure.
Like, full
is
on.
everything okay?
You might
Jerry?
come back and
I
marry
really don't want to. I really don't want to spoil this. Like, oh well, Vale stuck behind and what? Like, no, you can have that moment to yourself. I think that Alucard deserves a moment like that to himself. I think that Vale probably at least is worried about Davil, but also is worried. No, hold on. I have spells. We're not gonna get in any fights. I have spells.
Mhm.
I think that a little bit before the meeting, probably like just before this 30 minutes even, he might have messaged, because it's been a couple hours at this point, just to check, because he seemed at least he seemed like he was trying to not be distressed, is what was what Will, at least, like what I heard off of what you gave me, and that's what I'm going off of, without any insight checks or anything. That's just what I would think was happening. So he'll check in again. It's like, I hope things are doing better for you. We're moving forward. We found some drow from. Is there do we have a name for like the ships, or something for what we're doing? Let's put that in there.
The Hellraiser is the name of the ship.
You know if
There's one of the ships is called the Hellraiser. There are more.
that's
than
true.
One,
Forgive me. I was avidly reading all this stuff. I'm gonna
No,
have to
you're
regurgitate to you in just a moment. Who are you sending to?
This is to Davil. Yeah,
Davil.
we'll go ahead. We'll back up.
Thank you.
Vale is at least a little bit worried about him right now.
You did
He
speak
was
to
at
him
least
earlier.
kind of
Yeah. Mhm.
distressed. He was not very upfront, which he's not usually ever
Mhm.
in Vale's experience. But it seemed a little bit different
Mhm.
to a degree. He was busy at the very least.
Yes.
So he will contemplate again.
Okay.
Just because last time I asked him, trying to get in trying to find this, and he's like, "Hey, I'm busy. I can't. I don't have any answers for you."
I think you were looking for
so-
a circus.
Yeah, I was specifically looking for a circus that was secretly run by drow. I think I was pretty explicit on what
okay.
I was. Yeah, I was like, I'm not gonna mince words. at this point with him. So yeah, I'll tell him that we did find who we're looking for, and I'll include either the name of one of the ships. It's
Yeah,
the crew of
so
the Hellraiser in this ordeal. I hope you're doing better than last I saw you. We should meet, essentially.
you get back. Vale. So persistent. Yes, we can meet. You can find me. Alucard knows where to find me.
Sorry. Sneezing. I
Bless you.
only
How
have
Dare you?
one third level spell. Oh, no, I got it back. That's why. Sorry.
Before we meet, Bell would shift to Mathes's in a quiet place.
Okay.
I don't really think that speaking to a woman when they escaped the matriarchy would be something that we should be doing. So I will happily take on a different persona for this one. So hey, how's everybody doing?
I want to respond, but I also want to that was. You
I've been
deserve
working
credit.
on that.
That was a really good. I was like, I realized what you were doing as you did it. That was fantastic. A shift of voice, just to step
The
back
last
for a
time I
second.
kind of bombed it, and I've been working on it, and I did it right that time.
Splendid work.
Yeah.
I hope the
We have
audio is
about
working so we can.
30 minutes.
Yeah, it's so for your knowledge.
Have
If I may, sorry, set the scene. You're close to the dock ward. You've come back this direction in anticipation. You can see the fair has the show has ended. They've packed up everything back into these wagons and they're trundling down the midnight streets of Waterdeep, or the evening streets of Waterdeep. There's still a number of people milling about in the streets. This is a large enough city that it's never truly deserted at any hour of the evening, especially near the docks, but certainly quieter. Mage light lanterns illuminate the mist-filled, cobbled streets of this autumn night in Waterdeep. And as you can kind of see a long train of carriages holding incredible beasts and props and other like pieces of a stage that had been constructed and had to be broken down. You see a number of individuals in makeup and costumes, clowns with their makeup smeared. As the show's over, they just kind of wiped off their face and they've got their nose in their hand, and their fake noses, not their noses, in their hand. And you see like a very tired troupe, if you will. But there's a lot of kind of energy about them too, a camaraderie. You can definitely detect how close they are as a traveling group. Many of them are dressed in a over exaggerated facsimile of vampires and werewolves, looking to take advantage of the red moon and all the rumors that are flying about the city. For the crowds, they had devised a new show for tonight. That was supposed to be, a commentary on the times, a satire, if you will. You see kind of the group traveling back. It's about 30 minutes before you're supposed to meet back here with the half-troll gentleman who told you that he would escort you aboard the Hellraiser.
I have a question, Sid. We
Yep.
have not started to see posters yet, right?
That's correct.
Okay.
Posters for what?
The 11th Ornament.
Nothing.
Could that be a thing?
I refuse to answer. Okay, so Ikin will kind of just prepare himself and get. He would like to take a moment with Vale and just maybe not even just the two of them, but in a place where he thinks he can be quiet enough to not be so overheard, say, I have had several conversations with some of our compatriots. I'm not taken by the Oni right now, by the way.
Okay.
And while I am all for my partnership, it is new and hard for me. I know how tough this thing with the moon must be for you, but I consider my life forfeit for yours, as you are the one that saved mine. In the face of whatever I may be becoming, I would ask that you rely on me in times that you feel weak or weary.
Lean on me when you're not strong. Sorry.
And he will kind of take a second and place a signet into Vale's palm and walk towards the rest of the group. The signet is a sword lit ablaze in a circle of brass. The sword itself is gold hilted with silver coming down as the actual blade, and it is the signet of the first sword. Anyone who bears this signet can claim right to audience with the order itself.
Okay. Do you have any response, Vale?
Great. I apologize if you were talking to me, and I think that you were the whole time. Cole just threw up, and I had to deal with that.
Oh no.
Goodness.
So I think that Will has a kind of gist of the idea of what you just said, but not the gravitas of what you just said. And I apologize.
We've talked about it off table.
Yeah.
Before. Yeah.
You gave. Give me just a brief rundown. I know that you're not the Oni right now.
Yep. I basically described that while I am completely sound of mind, I would like for you to know that the life that you have given back to me is, in my opinion, more importantly dedicated to protecting you. So call upon me should ever you need it. And then I gave you the signet of the first sword. Should I ever pass, basically you would be granted audience with the head of my order. Long and short of it, if you ever needed to bury me.
Quick question.
Mhm.
I don't doubt your ability to do this, but tell me kind of really quickly how you crafted that and from what.
Yeah, so the signet of the first sword, you can basically craft it from a shard of his original moon sword that he has now sold. It was a little chip that is the silver that is the blade. The gold is basically melted down from a gold piece, which I've already marked from my character sheet. And the bronze, just a piece of bronze equipment. Basically, he used the same template of clay that you told me he used to create the what you call it, stamp signet for our seal.
Yeah.
And molded it into the shape that he knew to be the Order of the First Sword signet.
Yeah, I'll say that's all fine, except it's probably just a piece of silver or electrum, as the moon-touched sword is a magical item that would be very difficult to chip or smelt.
Even if I were to try to chip it with my Kanabo.
Yeah, even so. I mean,
Okay.
yeah, if magic items also chipped and damaged other magic items easily,
Right.
you guys
That
would
makes
be
sense. Sure.
in trouble often.
Well, I also have silver pieces, so I can just take it away from that.
Yeah. Yeah. Vale will take that. And like really, really think about that for a second. What you've about all of that. I can really start to realize what you're meaning by what you're saying. I'm like, I need one of you to hold this too. This is just it's again a similar kind of thing. I know that you're telling me that you won't let me, but that's not always going to be the case. I know that things can happen. Um, there there we'll talk soon. I don't think that we need to worry about that right now. But there is someone who I need to be okay. I need to be taken care of, and I don't mean that in a killing way. To be clear, there's someone that I wronged that I don't know how I could ever make it right. But we'll talk about that. Her name's in the letter at the very least. We'll talk about it soon. And I hand you the letter that says, "Should I fall?" that I'd given to Dorn the night before. Dorn did not read it, so don't worry. You were not here for the session that this happened in, so don't. If you feel confused, you should be.
Okay.
We vaguely told you like there was a whole interaction of like, oh, how do you hand stuff off in D&D? Rules don't really support it very well if you try to make them be rules, is what we found out. But you ended up giving it back to me without any opening of it or anything. So don't like you didn't. You're not missing any information. You just
Ekin is
didn't want.
going
Well,
to
no, he's missing information.
wrap
you are.
that inside of some cloth. He's going to tear some cloth off from the bottom of his like pants, basically. Wrap that up and put that in his gauntlets, in the like between of his braces and gauntlets, so it doesn't get drenched in sweat, but also so that it's like kept safe, so that he doesn't like have a chance of dropping it or losing it.
Bale's gonna pull out a rag. It's like you had to rip your clothes.
I honestly didn't, but that also helps. He's gonna wrap that piece of pants inside of the rag and put that inside of his bracers, so that it doesn't get wet.
All right. So I would like to remind you guys, you probably would be taking this time as well. You guys had hours of time, so this could have happened. Any number of interactions could have occurred. Assuming you didn't go see the show, but you should be taking this time as well to think about what your party is looking to get out of this specifically, out of this social interaction, what your expectations are for this interaction, and maybe a plan on how to respond if things go poorly. Not that I'm saying they will go poorly or anything.
Yeah. One of the things that I feel like we should be is we've not really talked about yet is that drow that have made it out. I don't know if they want to go back all that much. So that's gonna be, and especially not knowing the actual content of our purse right now. Makes
I
things more
personally
difficult.
would love to take an hour to contemplate that in a restful tone. Maybe a rest that is short.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I
With like
I assumed that we did that.
with like a song of rest, maybe.
No,
could play you a
just
song.
a
No, we
regular
didn't.
short rest.
Bum,
Because
I'm
he
the only one.
he
With,
restored
oh, actually, it's not
my
true.
exhaustion.
Yeah. So he's at full. There are
I'm not at full, but
Alucard needs a rest.
yeah,
But
I
you
Yeah.
would
get
love
temporary hit
to
points
rest
when I do song.
shortly.
So.
It's not temporary hit points for
It's
Song of
for
Rest.
real. It's for real hit points. Also, short rest doesn't reduce exhaustion.
No,
No,
that's
he
what
used
he's saying. He
he
doesn't
used
have exhaustion because I
the
instead
greater
of
restoration
Mhm.
to restore my curse instead of my
Hit points.
hit points.
yeah, because these are not hit points you lose for a week.
And
When did
acid
that say
boss.
that?
Awesome jeans.
Okay, are we gonna take a short rest? Sid? You gonna allow that?
Yeah, of course, 100%. So you can
Yep.
take 3 short rests. Just kidding. Just 1 short rest.
Yeah, no. If there's a Song of Rest, I'd totally take that too.
I will
Mathesis,
play.
who is now
Mathesis
Mathesis.
will play a Song of Rest that sounds like a lute rendition of um,
That did
Prelude on the Afternoon of a Faun.
12
really nice.
12 d8.
I know that
I'm gonna
one.
use 3.
It's really pretty.
That one.
Okay. So,
I'm confused as to how you do that on a lute, but
you know,
Would you?
Absolutely.
Okay, I got you. Hold on.
Magic.
Yeah. What is your
No, I wanna do
literally
three.
magic.
what is your die size for this?
I will tell you that.
Does
I
does
find
each
it.
person add an additional, or does he roll it and
is-
you all get that number?
I think that the way that we usually do it, I think that it could be done either way, but
For simplicity's sake, I'm gonna have Chavis roll the additional help.
that works too.
I cannot pull up Mathesis. Oh, there it is.
I believe in
Um,
you.
Yay! Features.
That's what you need. Maybe some
Um,
features.
Not be rolling an additional one after that because the D6 to
There
8
it is.
will be enough.
rolling hit die is our con mod plus our.
It's
Um,
the
it's
die
It's
plus
not
your con
there.
mod.
Okay.
Like
Roll
it's not in
just
my
roll
thing.
damage. Roll damage.
I clicked that.
I got you. Oh, do you mean it's not there as in it's not telling you, or
it's
it's not
1d6
there
healing?
as in
You rolled
can't
1.
do it?
Like the text isn't there, but if it's a
Ah,
1d6,
got you.
then it's 1d6.
That is still fine.
Um,
You're what level of bard?
I am a level. Should be level 9 bard.
So we each get
Mm.
1d6 hit healing.
Are you
we
a
each get
level
1
9
healing.
bard?
Before level 12, I'm 3 levels
You only have-
into.
Oh, that's a D8 then, actually.
Oh, it's a D8. Your character sheet is wrong.
Oh, 1d8.
It probably just has it. Oh yeah, I actually can't actually tell you. But
Hey,
yeah,
that's like
that was-
200% better.
That also seems an appropriate adjustment since you
Wait.
added 2 to the die.
So we all get
An
3
additional
healing?
3 hit points just
Yeah.
magically.
That is
Temporary or
no.
Oh.
Yeah, I am 1 below my current max now.
Awesome. I'm 2
It's
below my
already
current
all the
max.
way.
Actually,
Hold
on.
Okay,
I might actually have been at max. I need to figure out how many hit points I actually have right now.
that is important.
Because
You know, in
I
case
could
there's
be wrong.
combat.
Well, no, yeah,
Which
I
there
just need to
certainly
make sure that
won't
I'm
be.
not- I need to make sure that I know how the minuses, how they function in.
Honestly, Sid, I wish you would. I'm ready to clap some cheeks. We went against some vampires, survived. I fucking.
Wait a
I wish
second.
you would.
clapping
Let's go.
cheeks.
Let's
I don't
go.
think claps means what you think it means.
No, it means
Pretty
no, it
sure
does
it
mean that
does.
too. Yeah,
I
no, it
will
can mean
take.
that.
I will take
Wait
a
a second.
little
Does it actually
drow
mean those two
boy,
different
and
things?
I will just
Wow.
slap
Means
his
wow.
little face
Wow.
cheek, his little
No.
face cheekies around, dude.
This is
No.
a family
Yeah,
show.
it
It's not.
Means,
Is it?
it means
I
those
mean-
things simultaneously. Like when
But
you
it's definitely
use
not
it to
that much
mean
of
those
not a
things,
I-
music
like,
show.
Specified face cheeks. All of you need to
Yeah.
fix yourselves, okay? That is not my fault.
Awesome, bossum jeans.
Okay,
With the
alright.
fur.
Also, aren't drow boys like 48 years old?
Wow, that doesn't mean that they're.
That's
no,
so. Let's
Where are we
stop
going
the
here?
conversation there.
I don't know what that
Stop the
even
I mean,
means.
okay.
So
yeah.
no, not necessarily. Like,
Correct.
They, are,
do
they
not
are
get
still
born
elves.
at 48. Like they have to live 48 years before they're 48, right? Like most organisms. So,
I don't want to.
Sure, sure,
I
sure.
want off this train.
Sure. But
all right.
I actually
would
was
other
already
drow
like-
consider those to be children at 48 years old?
He said
but
they
are-
have to
why
be
did you
fucked
say
up.
48? Yeah, where did 40? Where did you? Why do you think that they're 48?
Yeah, that's a strange number to choose. Okay, so as the party convenes,
I think that was just a legitimate question. I don't know.
What? Yeah, but
Our
why?
At
party
what
convenes.
at what age do drow consider other drow to be adults?
Oh, well, it's
Like
about 100, but
Adult is adult. Like,
yeah,
they are
elves
fully matured.
elves mature at the rate of humans. Like, so a 15-year-old elf will look like a 15-year-old human. They just get to adulthood at around the age of 21 and then look that way for the next 680 years.
Until they look really old all at once.
Yeah, and then they look really old at
children.
once, like Pharrell.
Elf
Okay,
don't crack into a gun when it does.
Have you heard his new song? It's
I have
great.
not.
Is it called sad?
No, it's called Cash In Cash Out with
Sad, because I'm
Savage,
sad.
21 Savage, and Tyler the Creator.
So,
All that?
the party is convened.
Hashtag not.
Allegedly.
So what are we? What are we trying to get here? Like, are we? What are our goals, ambitions, life journey?
Finding someone to take
destinations.
us. Finding someone to take us to the Underdark, even if it's not them, even if they're just point us to somebody else. This
We
was
need
the
to
only
get-
lead we had.
To Minzo Baranzan. That's all.
Well, really, we don't even need to go there. We need to go to whatever the place is. To
Well,
get, which
They being the Titan who spoke to us, which, okay,
It's a royal day.
said that it was
Okay.
specifically under Minzo Baranzan. Or am I misremembering that?
It is specifically the entrance to the River Styx, I believe.
The entrance to the River Styx is under Minzo Baranzan, about 2 miles.
South.
I've not been corrected, so I'll take that.
South.
I don't know.
Oh, not under it, but
Yeah.
south. Ah, okay. So
You're
we
not
don't have
corrected,
to go
but
to the
Bell
city
growled,
of...
growled at you.
Okay.
I mean, Mathis growled at you.
So we really want a way to get down there. Doesn't matter if there's them or not. What do we have to offer them? If
Money?
or do we just try to make them feel scared? Do we have money? I don't have money.
I have
don't
money.
try to make people
I have
feel
122
scared of
gold.
us. That's not that. That's
Well,
not
I
enough
got
money.
It's not that
interrupted.
much, but at the same time, we're
It's enough to get
also
them to talk
supposed
to
to
us.
get a lot of money from Davil.
We're all supposed to get a sum from Dev. We don't know what that
He
sum
said
is.
a lot.
He's also
Yeah, but
Zutara,
things are.
and they killed Vale.
They did do that. At
Some
least
did.
once.
He
Zintaro,
also
agent
also
of Vale.
saved me.
Okay, so what we need to do is approach this as if we are doing good for the world and hope that they, being defectors of a terrible religion, have decided that good is good. And that's that. However, if they are not among those, we offer all the money that we can, and if that's not good enough, then we offer our services because we're good at what we do. And I
Okay.
believe that we can serve that.
So, just slight question. Just because they decided that they didn't want to be marginalized, because it's a matriarchy, doesn't mean they're the good people. They just may just want. That's one thing. The next thing is,
I don't think that's why they defected. I think it's because they don't believe in the religion of Lolth.
how do we know all that information?
I thought that's what our harbor contact told us.
Not
Oh,
necessarily.
they had a
no.
full-on interview.
Not necessarily, no. You were simply told that there is a group of drow sympathetic to the well, not sympathetic, but interested in joining. Jerry, just smash your glass on the table.
No, there was just a lot of condensation, and it slipped because of water
Mhm.
on the outside. Sorry, go ahead.
So they're not
He's had too much
necessarily trying to defect. They just didn't want to be.
They didn't want to be oppressed. Male drow are basically slaves.
Yeah.
In drow culture, that's effectively all you know of them. It's not very much. Even the Harper contact was not incredibly well informed on this.
But they worked with the Harpers before, so us having a Harper could potentially be helpful.
Okay.
All right. And so another question,
Mhm.
given that this is a pivotal conversation, how do we want to approach it? Who's taking a lead? Do we want to take anything off of the table in the way we go about it?
If anything, I say that we put things on the table, such as if you were to help us, you would be recognized as compatriots to the heroes of Om, and say that we could recommend their worth to the Emperor of Om.
So here's my thought, and here's how I might approach it. We could, and this is a could, just throwing cards on the table here. Just ask them if they could take us there, and if
That
they say
should
no,
100% be our first option.
Good.
We
good,
don't
good.
want to offer anything before they've said no.
well, nobody said that, and so I did. But
Sorry,
that's,
I assume that was our first option. Yes, we personally, I don't think we offer anything until they say yes or no.
but yeah. So yeah, we just say that, and then we
Because it is in their interest to stop a Titan from taking over the planet.
That's
I find it really difficult to say what people view as their own interests, whether or not it's in their interest or not.
and honestly, that's a thing that is not felt here yet.
If we could ask one of them to I'm almost certain, though not certain, because that's a tough thing to be in these times. I am almost certain that any of them would know of the Moonshay Isles, and they could scry and see the destruction that Cernas has wrought.
Here's the problem. Not everyone's a hero, you can.
And I could never expect you to have made that point more clear, Alucard.
Exactly. No, there's no doubt about it. We know who we are. I'm simply saying, even if they did know the world is ending, doesn't mean they want to necessarily help. Stop it. That's what I'm saying. Some people would rather just wait for the next group of heroes and adventurers to solve the problem if they're not the heroes. I mean, someone
We
decides.
are the next group of heroes. All they have to do is get us to the Underdark.
Yeah, that's
Oh.
more complicated than I think than you think that it is. Especially with what we're asking. Them getting away, from what I understand, is a feat in of itself, just from what I know. With what little I know.
If anybody is to know of anything to get us down there, even if they don't have to take us down there,
Yeah, I'm not
nobody
saying we
said
don't
that
ask them,
they
but
might have a
also-
map.
Didn't
I don't think
we
it's going
go
to be
down there
that
one
easy.
time?
I think that we should expect to be laughed at when we ask them to. I just want to be clear. We
Above
should
table, Cameron, yes. We didn't know that though. Also, we have no way of knowing where we were. We just like showed up there and then immediately bamfed.
You
Right,
teleported out. Yeah.
but how did we get there in the first place?
We
Um,
got there through the Feywilds.
Yeah, when you came back from the Feywild, you
Oh,
were
That
there
is
We
the
got
instead
least
of.
Narnia.
reliable way. It is not an option.
okay.
Yeah, we can't go.
All right, all right.
You can
all
go
right.
back to the Feywild. Yeah. Fey crossings
yeah,
It's happened
abound in
in
the
40
Moonshades
years.
right now.
Absolutely not.
It's happened to me before. No, that's not how it happened. Never mind. But kind of.
At this time,
We were above table, so
as
you
the
said
party
that,
is,
Will, and I got nervous.
if I may, as the party is having this discussion, I assume that you're probably in some sort of tavern with a window that has a good view um, of the dockside, watching the carts and carriages head back, and um, just enjoying a couple of beers as you kind of sit around quietly to yourselves. It's one of these dockside taverns, usually only patronized by sailors, and there are a number of sailors in here now, but they're giving you a wide berth for the most part. You've had curt but professional service. You aren't their general fare, but your gold is gold. So, as you sit in the corner looking through these grimy windows out at the cobbled streets through the mist, you can see one of the carts appears to be laden incredibly high with stacks of crates filled with these incredibly colorful birds. You all would recognize them from the jungles of Chult as macaws, parrots. They are just kind of filling these crates, these cages, and they are kind of chirping and chiming, all flitting about. There's a number of people kind of moving this cart along, and as you watch, just kind of idly, you can see the ropes that tether this tall sack. One of them, and the cart begins to fall. All of the cages begin to fall, and you see a gentleman rush forward from back further along the train with a panicked face, a long, patched cloak billowing behind him as he runs holding his hat, reaching out with a magical spell, and appears to cast Featherfall on these crates. As the crates just slowly hit the cobbles, the birds, being reoriented now 90 degrees, seem to not mind too much as they're kind of flitting about in these cages. But as you look closely, you recognize this gentleman, Mathesis, as the bard whom you had met in Port Nyanzaru when you started your bardic training. Thom is his name. He has long, white, bushy squirrel tail mustachios coming down from either side of his face. He's mostly bald on top as he clings his wide-brimmed hat. Flat-top, wide-brimmed hat. Oh! You see him bustling about the woman.
Well, we see it's just like across the way or something.
Yeah, like across the street from the tavern, yeah. A
Mathesis-
woman who is the driver leaps off the back and comes bustling around. Dear good. And there seems to be a bit of a commotion.
Mathesis grabs his loot and runs outside and starts playing the first song that Thom taught him, but
Okay.
this time it is like jacked up to 11 complexity, like, you know, look at what I can do, and just starts playing as loud as he can. Doesn't want to actually directly talk to, like, go up to him, but he wants Thom to notice him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Make a performance check for me. As the rest of the party, who may or may not have seen this, I'm not going to make you roll a check. It was evident. Depends on, you know, if you were looking out the window. The rest of the party sees Matt leap out of the chair, grab his loot off his back, and run out of the tavern, pushing open the door. You hear the bell pling, as he runs
About
out into.
how much gold would all of our meals and drinks have? How much would all of our meals and drinks have been total?
Just like a handful of beers for the 6 of you. I mean, it might come to 2 gold.
Okay. Iken is going to leave 10 gold at the table and wax burn our seal into the wood and leave a note that says, "The 11th Ornament is not a regular customer," and walk out with Mathesis.
Okay. Make a quick calligraphy check to whip out all of your pen and ink and paper, unless you want to
Okay,
spend about
what's
5
a
to 10 minutes
calligraphy
doing it.
check? I am proficient with calligrapher's tools.
Yes, you are indeed. It's going to be a dexterity check with proficiency for you.
Okay, so a dex check.
Fun new feature in new D&D that they've announced, if it sticks around, you would now get advantage on checks if you are proficient in the tool and proficient in the skill check.
Ooh.
So if it's
Well, still a 12.
It was like if there was like a
like if
There's
it's
a
a
new
performance,
D&D?
if it's a
yeah,
Question mark?
yeah,
Yeah,
if it's
one
like a
D&D.
that's the
performance
best
check
example.
with an instrument, and you're proficient in both the instrument and in performance, you get advantage under new D&D rules.
I
But
think
yeah.
Jonathan was asking what you meant by new D&D.
Oh,
Oh,
hey,
one D&D.
yeah,
One-
one D&D. The creators of Wizards of the Coast, creators of
The
Dungeons
creators
and
of
Dragons,
Wizards of the Coast, yes.
have announced the next iteration of Dungeons and Dragons Beyond 5th Edition, due to be published in 2024, and it is basically, they don't want us to call it 5.5e. They really don't.
And it's not it is not a 6th edition either. Realistically,
It's not 6th edition. It's going to be
so
everything 5th edition is going to be forward compatible. Is how I think the phrasing the phrasing they want to use. I don't think they're going to make anything
I think it actually is.
in
But
1D&D backwards compatible. Like if they make new stuff, they're not going to be worried about it working well with old stuff. But they are going to make all the old stuff kind of forwards compatible in this new system with some translatory effects. I'm not sure exactly, but in any event.
I rolled a 3 on the dice, which is a 12 total.
Okay, yeah, you pull out your calligraphy kit, grab your wooden pen with the steel nib, and pull out your ink. You accidentally knock over the ink well. Oh, fucking grab it and put it upright. You've got about half a bottle of ink left, so you can mark
Okay,
off that you've
sure. Yep.
lost half a bottle of ink, which has now stained the tabletop. There's a pool of just indigo black ink, and you dip it in and kind of scribble a quick note. If you'd like to add, P.S. Sorry about the ink, or not.
Well, sure.
And hop up and chase after Mathesis as I'm sure Alucard quickly pulls his sleeves out of the way of the ink falling across the table and grabs his drink as Matt runs
He
I'll
out.
doesn't-
also like
He
slide
doesn't grab
my
the drink
the rest
because
of
he
my
can't
drink
drink it.
I'm sure
in
you have like
front
a
of
cup of water.
Alucard, not even thinking about it.
You do what?
I also like slide the rest of my drink in front of Alucard without thinking, because he doesn't really like drink. But
Okay.
Vale
Tor
having
reaches
not
over and
finished
takes the drink that you slid to Alucard, realizing that he's not going to drink it.
Vale, having not finished his beer yet, has to chug it before we walk out.
That's like real life Will Stewart.
Yeah, Vale has the excuse of being small.
Tor, welcome to the group.
Hello.
Hello,
Hey,
sir.
buddy.
Not dead.
You are not dead. That is wonderful news. Wonderful news.
Yes. I was
So-
very angry for a very long time. And I'm
Just
still a little
like-
bitter,
Tor.
but we're getting better.
Okay, good. Mastis, wonderful performance check. As you walk out, strumming. Thom is like helping to pick up these. He hears it and looks over. My gods, my dear boy, Mastis, how the hells are you? Come over here. What a
That's
treat.
Puts the Luke down and walks over and gives him a big ol' hug.
Okay.
And says, hey, it's fancy seeing you here.
He pats you on the back. God, astounding, Mila. How have you fared since Nyanzaru?
I've fared very much, and learned a few new things. And Mathesis will use the Lute of the Bard to cast Levitate, and just like, oh look at this, I'm
Ooh.
so. You always told me to play light, and let me tell you, I'm literally floating.
You have been practicing, I can see.
Oh, yeah. How are you? What brings you to this place?
Oh, just passing through, but I have been performing with the Sea Maidens Fair for a number of nights.
Oh, you've been with that circus, huh?
Yes, it's good money, good performance. They really do good work, actually, and it's good exposure here in Waterdeep. You know, it's always good to line up with a troupe to reach a bigger audience. I still
Aye.
play in the streets during the day just to pass the time and do my own, practicing. But
Of course,
superb,
of course.
superb. It's just incredible the amount that you've increased your skills in such a short period of time.
Well, I did have a good teacher.
Oh,
That's
no,
not for nothing.
I can take no credit, my boy. You were hardly half this good last we met.
Well, something about putting your life in danger every other day and having really to rely on your skills and techniques really will put that into you.
Mm, yes, can't
but
deny
yeah.
that. Can't
So
deny
you
that,
say
indeed.
you're like associated with the circus is did I hear that right?
Yes, well, I travelled to Waterdeep some weeks ago and discovered the circus was here. And I approached them about performing alongside. They had no qualms after my audition, and won myself a couple of day slots as well as backup music for the nightly performances. So not as much exposure for those, but it's good gold done the same.
Oh, that is wonderful. Absolutely wonderful to hear. We're actually going to be talking with some of the head honcho guys here in a minute too. So we're actually about to walk in there. Yeah.
Yes, you and
But,
your
you
troop. I remember them not being all as gifted as you, but you're looking for a spot in the performance?
No, not exactly.
Hmm.
We're while we do play, and I'm trying to whip these guys into some sort of group, but you know how it is.
Oh yes,
Uh,
no, I
But
understand.
our primary goal at this point is more adventurous.
Hmm.
You know, you gotta put yourself in places where fun things happen in order to write about them. Am I right? You know,
Oh, indeed, indeed you do.
good stories are easy to write when you've experienced them.
Yes, well, for some. At this point, Iken walks up behind you. Pause really quickly in the narrative to give everyone else an opportunity to respond to Iken knocking over a bottle of ink, writing this quick note, leaving 10 gold on the table, and rushing out. As you're kind of finishing your drinks, realizing that you may be leaving the tavern. What is everyone else doing?
I lean over to Gorsek because I'm probably still sitting in the seat. I don't know
Sure.
if Gorsek
Dorn.
is, but Dorn.
Dead naming.
Sorry.
That's fine.
So is that his father or something?
It's unclear to me his relationship with this individual. Above table. Should I remember who this is?
Nope.
Nobody
Okay.
knows.
Okay. Great.
Okay.
All right.
Literally no one.
Only Valen and Iken were there.
It would have been better if I was supposed to remember who it was and just actually.
This was early Port Nyanzaru within the Tomb of Annihilation campaign. I think their first venture to Port Nyanzaru. This is when Mathesis took his first levels in Bard.
I see. Okay.
Uh,
I see.
You're muted, William.
If he had met us, he would. How long have I been muted? God damn it.
Hey,
Even
this
if he
is a
had met us,
family
he'd
show.
only remember again.
Yeah, I honestly don't think that because this was one of those things where we had downtime,
Mhm.
and I had gone off to the Red Flagon, so I'm not sure that
Gotcha.
anybody else has actually met him.
Yeah. I think that he can. I think the whole party had met him at one point, but of the recognizable members of the party, from his
It's
perspective
just
at this
Iken.
point, it's just
Could
Iken.
just be
Because Vale has become a gnome.
Obe isn't here.
Obe isn't here. Dorn, Gorstag, and Tour were not part of the party yet. So,
Yes.
Tor's gonna slam his mug down. Say, well, I mean, you can just go ask him, you know.
Sure. I don't know if I care that much. I just wanted some context.
I
Well,
don't
you
think
already
his
asked,
dad.
so I feel like you did care. I don't know.
I think that might have been a guy he met in Port Nyanzaru. I'm not sure.
What's he doing here?
What are we doing here?
Well, we actually do have a reason, and you know what that reason is.
Yeah,
So,
people are allowed to travel.
People are allowed to have reasons.
all right, sure.
It's been several
sure.
months. Easily could have got out here. In fact, oh fuck, where's Janet? Oh no.
Oh,
Who's
dear,
Janet?
dear Janet.
Oh no.
I think Janet
I
was
think
coming
that
to
we
meet
did
you
actually.
in Snowdown.
Yeah, I think that we did check in on her at some point, but I'm not sure that we actually did. I think that I said that I wanted to do that, but I don't know if we actually played through me doing that.
Yeah,
We're
you
not
went and
gonna
left
do
a
it
message
now.
with the attendant who was running Chung's bar.
I quite hope that Janet is not still in Snowdown. It would be
I'm sure she didn't land actually.
quite unpleasant for her.
I don't think she would have got there before anything would have gone down.
Maybe.
Hmm.
We can check on that.
As for this individual that Maths seemed excited
Mhm.
about, I don't know if it's his father.
It's not.
Based on the
I'm gonna
way
hazard a guess.
he was swinging his lute about.
You do know
imagine
that,
it's an old teacher
Oom
or something.
Was orphaned and adopted by Hansen. You recall that. So,
Orphans don't know their fathers.
That's not always
Is
true.
that a true statement? I don't know if that's inherently accurate.
That's actually not inherently true.
Batman
You're right.
knew his
You're right.
dad.
You're right. I'm sorry. That was kind of putting my
I mean,
own.
this is a
Yeah.
family show. Just kidding.
Are you harboring some
Complete
internal
with orphans.
issues?
No, I
Faye?
mean, probably at least a little bit. I am an orphan. That's okay. I've dealt with that my whole life. I just didn't think. I just assumed. You know, when you assume that everyone has a life like yours until somebody actually questions you on it. That's what just happened to me right now. We should go though. We don't need to be here anymore. He just spilled ink on this. They're gonna even with the gold. They're probably still gonna be kind of upset.
They could probably buy like 2 new tables.
Oh
with
no,
that gold.
you're not wrong. But they still have to be a little bit upset to have to do
Furniture
it.
is unreasonably expensive.
All
That
right,
was
maybe
commentary
a
on
table.
real life. Sorry.
But the
As he
ink
can?
was spilled by the most prolific
As he Ken walks up.
adventuring party of the planet. That is
How did-
history. In
Yeah,
your
How
we
did
are
we
no
let,
normal
how did we
bar
let the
patrons.
guy
We
who
destroy your
was
table.
writing a letter leave here before us? God damn it! And I'll stand up and
Also, sorry,
Ah.
why aren't we regulars?
I mean, we could just
We've
come
never
back.
been here before.
I don't need
That's
to.
what
I-
a regular is. Someone
I-
who's
Can you define what regular means?
Thumb
Well,
says
so-
to Mathesis and Ken, "Oh,
If you have a bowel
speaking of
movement once a
troops,
day.
hello, good sir. Great to see you again."
Indeed. I am pleased once again to make your acquaintance and confused as to why you are here.
I have joined the circus, I suppose. At least temporarily.
Are you what you appear to be? What does he look like?
He's got a top like a hat. He's got a
No,
so
I
massive
mean
he's
coat.
a-
racially.
He's an elderly human with snow white hair. Two long, like squirrel tail, bushy mustaches come down from
Yeah,
beneath his
I remember
nose.
that.
He's a
description,
witch.
but his race. He's a human. He's a human.
He is a human, yes. With he has overly bushy eyebrows which furrow and cover his eyes with sparkling blue eyes shining from beneath.
Iken, not knowing
heavy
any
brow.
better, also being a human, gets very close to him.
Hey, Ken, what are you doing?
I'll take your word for it this time, old man.
What?
He backs up.
Anyway,
Yeah.
we're actually gonna try to talk to some of the head honchos there. Just a few, actually. We got a little meeting with them. We're gonna be doing some traveling to some places, and yeah, here they have a boat. So
They do, but it hasn't left harbor in several weeks. And I've heard rumor that they're not too eager to leave Waterdeep.
interesting. Well, you've got to try anyway.
Indeed. So you're meeting with the captain of the...
We're not sure. We spoke with the troll, or half troll.
Ah,
I think he's
Coral.
half troll.
Don't call him Carl. He hates that. It's Coral.
Like the thing in the ocean.
No, just Chorl.
Oh, like the group, like a music thing.
There's no second syllable. Sure, I'm sure you'll get close enough.
Awesome.
He is a character, but excellent taskmaster, if I may say so. He keeps everyone on their toes.
So, where have we been though? Like how's the travels been?
He
for
kind
you?
of waves for you to follow him back a couple of feet as he goes to help this young lady as he
Is
casts.
the rest of the group here by now?
Yeah, approaching.
yeah, I would have walked. Yeah.
He casts levitate on these items to make them nigh weightless as he picks them up and pushes them
Matt's
into
using
the cart.
mage hand to help out.
Yeah, with levitate on them, they have basically no weight, so you can just and push them into the cart. It's not exactly what it does. Levitate does require you to spend an action to raise or lower it, but he's basically casting levitate and raising it up to level, and then just pushing it, letting the inertia carry the crate into the back of the cart again. As he's helping to stack these. Yes, well, when I left Nonzaru, as I told you, I traveled for a brief time in the Isles of Moonshay, actually.
Really? We were there too.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, you were?
Yeah. We were.
I'm from there.
Oh,
This is Tor. Tor. This is Thomas, and then
Tur
this is-
Yordklo? By God,
Yeah.
I should
You
have
know?
recognized you by the mohawk. Incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible.
For
may,
some, it's the
may
beard.
I get an
so-
autograph?
Absolutely, it would
Hold
be
on.
an absolute pleasure.
He pulls out a book. There's a bunch of scrawled notes in charcoal, and he just hands you what is effectively a crayon. And if you wouldn't mind.
Yeah, sure. I'll do the.
Yep, in like Dwarvish.
Yeah,
Then eat it.
it ain't really cute, but it's big.
Yeah. Superb. Thank you, my good man. You are legendary. Heard all about you.
Good source
Well,
material.
hopefully the good and the bad.
Mostly bad,
Yeah.
honestly. But
Yeah, yeah.
incredible stuff.
The good's
In
only
my
really been
travels,
recent, to be fair.
uh, in my travels, I try not to judge too heavily. There's always another side of the story, at least one,
You're absolutely right. I'd be happy to tell you sometime.
and I would be happy to listen. But I really must be getting going. I wish you all the best of luck with your endeavors. Um,
Oh, don't go back through the moonchase.
Yeah, it's not great there right now,
how do you mean?
especially around Snowdown.
So, pirates are the least of your worries. How about that?
Make an insight
Let's
check.
just say there's.
Okay. $12.
14 plus O minus.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That was for anyone who is currently at the conversation.
Oh, okay.
Oh, sorry.
Mhm.
Insight.
Mhm.
Insight.
15.
As the rest of
have
you
a-
approach as well, wait to give me your results until I finish this bit here. As the rest of you approach, he kind of looks over his shoulder. He takes him a moment to realize that you're coming to join Mathes's, as he recognizes none of you. What were the results on that insight check?
Not great. The highest
15
are
was
two.
the highest.
But
What
I
is
have
it?
a d6 I can roll. 15's the highest, but I have a d6 I can roll to add.
Okay,
to
roll the
it.
d6.
I have a D10 I could add, but I'm not going to because I only have one of those today.
19.
Superb. With a 19, you can detect that he is nervous. Genuinely concerned that something is going on in Snowdown. As he's trying to kind of laugh it off. He says, "Oh no, I would love to hear more."
Mathesis will try to create a psychic link with Thomas.
Okay.
You alright?
Is there a save on that? You just
I
roll
guess
a,
he could just.
you
I
roll
guess
a
he could
psychic
just
d6.
choose. Yeah, well, to see how long it lasts. If we were
Okay.
gonna, it's at least an hour.
Gotcha.
But
As you start it, I need for you to make an intelligence saving throw.
okay.
And I'll BRB.
Jeez. Jesus. Okay.
A 28, Sid.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Crazy weather we've been having, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's
Crazy.
raining.
Oh,
As
yeah,
you
no, I
approach,
had-
I'm sorry. As you reach out with your
Damn
mind,
it!
you get
In
the
the small talk
briefest
credits came in.
flash
Go ahead.
of imagery. Almost like an after image. It happens so fast that you wouldn't have even thought that it was real. You could be gaslit into thinking it never happened. But you get the briefest telepathic image of yourself standing in front of a wall of ice that is so tall that you cannot see the top. A glacial wall of ice. And a chill runs down your back and you feel slightly cold. And you recoil with your mind as you kind of bring that back, and no connection is made. And Thumb's eyes kind of cut and look at you.
I cut and look back.
I would love to hear more about Snowdown.
May I try to make an insight check on Mathesis to see his reaction on that?
Yes, you may.
18.
Okay. Mathesis, this is a PvP check. How do you, with an 18, what do you think?
What are you trying to discern?
I want to know if Ekan notices your look of like worry, like your cut look of like what just happened there.
Oh, with an 18, probably, yeah. Like I'm not. This is. Yeah, I'm non-verbally communicating with Thomas right now.
Okay. Ekan will kind of step in front of Mathesis, and I believe we must be on our way, sir.
Uh, yes, quite. Perhaps we could speak later about
I highly doubt it.
the Moonshades after.
And
Just
I
don't go there,
begin to kind of usher the group.
Mathesis will put his
the
hand
ship.
on Iken's shoulder and kind of squeeze a little bit, like affirming, whatever. Be like, we should try to catch up, but we do have a meeting. It was so good
Indeed.
seeing you.
And you as well. You as well.
Really, don't go there. I'm not kidding. Bye.
Ekan will kind
A
of
pleasure to
step
meet
to
you,
the side
Mr.
and
Yordclo.
wait for
A true pleasure.
everyone except Tor to pass as he kind of just like smiles,
Oh, okay.
not so gently at this man.
Okay. Based on what?
The look, Mathesis doesn't get worried often. It's a weird thing to see his face not jovial.
Okay.
Nice to see you again. And Vale looks around awkwardly.
He kind
As
of
he
like
says
cocks his
that-
eye at you as well as you walk away. The woman who's driving the cart comes up and bustling up to him. Just, oh, Thomas dear, thank you so much for your help. They stacked the damn things too tall. Oh yes, Mary mine. No, they always do. Trying to get into cheap bastards. We need another 4 carts around here. As they begin to kind of get back into the train and carry on towards the docks, and you all are walking in the same direction. Awkwardly, it's like goodbye, and then walk with them. You kind of
Sorry,
pick
we
up
walk
your pace
faster.
and yeah, and walk much faster than this cart can move within this train of carriages, and ultimately make your way down to the dockside.
Mathesis will use the Mind Master's monocle to cast the
Ryri's telepathic talk.
Yes, that one. They'll
Okay.
talk to each other. The private phone call.
Mhm.
The conference call.
The red ruby hanging in front of your eye flashes bright, and on each of your companions, the iris of their right eye glares in synchronous a bright ruby red. And after that moment, you all have telepathic connection with one another. Vale looks a little nervously, as this is the 3rd time today that red glow has come from his eyes.
Oh,
So we should definitely talk with him again. He seems to. I tried to reach out to create a bond with him, and I got blocked. And I saw a large ice wall, and he seems very scared about the Moonshays.
I was
Something happened there.
wondering what had happened. You looked nervous, worried.
Well, it's not often that someone rejects a telepathic bond. It's also not often that I get a vision from someone rejecting a telepathic bond. So that was concerning. But that's what would happen. I don't think he's a danger. He may have information, but
Do you
Should we
think-
take care of him now?
no, I suspect taking care of has a lot of meanings.
You could
But
buy him some soup.
Discussed
Put him
that
up.
today with Akin already.
I think we definitely have a conversation with him later on, depending on how
Do you-
things go here.
Do you think his concern with the Moonshine House has to do something with the reason why the owners of the circus don't want to leave Waterdeep yet?
Those are 2 dots that I have not connected.
That
Um,
is not a set of dots, I hope, is connected.
Well, he said they didn't want to leave yet, and then he also seemed unsure when you talked about the Moonshine House.
Well,
And-
but
and-
did he say that he was in the Moonshays with this troop, or is that a separate
No.
thing?
no,
He
just said
didn't, but we have no reason to leave otherwise. I'm just simply saying I am brainstorming here.
Yeah, he said before you got there that he had traveled here and met the circus here.
Yes, so he may have come, but if he was in Moonshades, he may have been there when it happened.
That's true.
He
And
did
that's
say
why I say
he did say he arrived here a couple of weeks ago above you.
Okay.
that's
I
why
mean,
I
he
think
maybe
we
just knows somebody there. I don't know.
Very
Kind of looking
possible.
pretty deep into it. I don't know.
so we should. I think we should just have a
Also,
could
can
also
we
be-
keep this connection up while we're having the conversation with
It lasts for an
the
hour.
owners?
The psychic link, it lasts for an hour.
Above table, you can use it more than once in a day, right? I thought maybe
Mathesis?
you could.
That's.
Did I say Ken? I meant Mathesis. Yes.
I can cast this version of. I can connect us all together, a grand total of twice. If I do that, though, there's a functionality of this specific item becomes significantly lower than one might want.
It costs charges.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we may. So we're getting on the ship now. That like he just cast it. We have an hour. We're getting on the ship. Right.
And
You're
I can
heading.
also
You're walking to the
connect
docks, which you can see from here. You're within.
And I can also connect individually with you all. Everything would have to pass through me. It would be more of a router switch situation and not necessarily a cloud situation, but we could still
Sure.
communicate.
Sure.
The clouds are nice, but I don't
Do
know
we
what you mean.
see? Do we see Carol anywhere?
Coral?
Coral? You do
know what I
at the
Coral.
Coral that kills people. You see him standing at the docks, kind of like he's got a clipboard and he's marking off inventory as it comes back into down the docks and up the planks. It's a wide docks, and he is paying close attention to this caravan of carts coming in from the show. But behind him, like outside of this lane of traffic, there are plenty of performers who are like coming back off of the boats now. The ships, I should say, two very large luxury ships, who are like, they're not dressed in their performance clothes anymore. They're kind of like rabble rousing, and they're in their civvies, if you will, and they're headed out to like the bars and things as they're leaving the show. And there's service industry people going out late. But you can see him. He's still got the white paint, clown sort of paint everywhere that makes him look like a disfigured humanoid.
Good Sir Coral.
You, yeah. I was expecting you. Not quite done here. Got a couple more carts left to inventory, and then I'll be happy to take you to meet with the captain of Hellraiser.
And do you have an expected time frame for that, or
He looks
should
back
we
down
just-
the line of carts coming in, which is now being the trail of which the very last cart is that one that was waylaid by the falling birds. And so he looks back at it and it's like, maybe 10 minutes more. Hope a bit sooner. If you don't mind just being patient with me.
we could be patient, or we could be helpful. If you would like us to assist in the moving of this equipment, we could perhaps move our meeting up and move your deadline.
You
down.
can really be helpful by not distracting me from counting everything that's passing.
Very well.
Yeah. He's got the most hideous yellowed teeth behind this like kind of pure white veneer mask of paint on his face. He's got this like inch-long nose, hooked and pointed. These long ears that cut back underneath the wide-brimmed hat, end in tufts of fur, all that powder white with like a clown rosy cheeks painted on. And he's got a blue diamond painted over his eye, point to point.
Okay, well, that's much more creepy than I think is intended.
Keeps counting. In short order, the carriages arrive, returning for the night. As the final carriage passes by, you notice the distinct lack of one Thomas. appears to have vanished into the night.
Should have
As you
taken care of him when we had the chance.
taking care of him?
You heard me.
Okay. As you look on, you see these pair of ships rising up out of the harbor on either side. Like I said, massive luxury barges, beautifully, ornately carved figureheads. The one on the left has that bident and looks like a tiefling mermaid. Tiefling on top, fish on bottom. She's like kind of got this raised arm forward, the bident in hand, and like the yeah kind of expression on her face. Horns that curl back. She's topless, and on the right there's the a beautiful woman who's kind of just holding out this kind of forlorn face, both carved on these figureheads, which you know from Veil to both be entirely illusory. The one on the right is called the Hellraiser. The one on the left is called the Heartbreaker. Um, mm, mm. Great. Yeah, as the final cart is trundling down the rackety planks of the dock out to the ships, Coral turns back to you, snaps his suspenders, putting his clipboard away. Now, if you would accompany me, I'd be happy to introduce you to the captain. You get the distinct impression that he has never been happy to do anything, and this is just a turn of phrase. As he turns away and begins stomping down the docks.
Mathis will say, any good luck, good wishes, good vibes, affirmations would be really great right now.
I say we just be ready to murder everyone.
Ken,
I'm
no.
always ready to murder everyone. Ken, listen, I will
Ken.
die with you, brother.
No. Bill said we don't murder anyone today. You're right. Bill said we don't murder anyone today. You're right. We had this conversation. No, you're right. We had this conversation. You're right. We don't murder anyone today. You're right.
I do feel as
Alright,
though
We're
murder
coming back tomorrow.
should be a
though.
thing you never do. Kill in self-defense,
Today.
hunt down, but murder?
Yeah. The 11th Ornament, baby.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. All right. So, as you follow Coral down the docks, he takes a right, climbing the plank of the Hellraiser. The ship is a bustle with the ingest of props and equipment. You can see in the center of the main deck, as you climb the plank, there's that large cargo drop area. It's got a grated lid that is tilted up in the open position, so you can see down into the hull of the ship. And there is a platform that appears to be powered by perhaps like a Tensor's floating disk sort of spell combined with a levitate spell, and the platform raises up and it's loaded down with props and fairy fire lighting and all kinds of carnival stuff, and then just sinks back down into the hull where presumably there are workers below putting stuff back in place. The whole place is a bustle.
As we're walking in, Mathis will say, "Please, let's not threaten people. Let's not threaten people. No murder, no kills. Let's try to make friends. Okay,
You-
friends."
Ken gets in the back of the group and just smiles his best grin.
Ken has turned a violent page since his recent further connection with the demonic being that he has a close relationship with. So as you board the ship, instantly those of you who are accustomed to sea life, you feel the comfort of this basically just tour. And Dorn was a sailor for a long time. You feel the comfort of the kind of rocking, rolling ship beneath your feet. And the rest of you are kind of having to compensate a little bit. The stars
This is
reel.
uneven.
Indeed,
You'll get used to it.
the stars reel above you. Gulls caw even in this late evening as the lights from the streets trick them into thinking it's the wrong time. And along the dock, where there's still some carnival stuff set up, you can see them kind of flooding down to pick up pieces of popcorn and things that had been left from the show earlier today. The sails, which are furled, still flap slightly in the breeze, which is heavy off of the sea from the bay. The ropes creak. There's commotion from various ship hands, some of them still dressed in their carny sort of attire, their makeup on. As you make your way back towards the captain's quarters of the ship, there's a main door right off of the main deck that is basically right underneath the stern, where the stern? The castle is what it's called. The raised portion where the shipwright steering wheel is. There's an ornate-looking door. All around you see polished brass and copper, these curly fleur-de-lis designs. There's a pair of lanterns lit by mage light, which kind of cycle through kind of a spectrum of colors as they kind of weave and wave as the ship rolls back and forth. There's a glass, but like wavy glass. You can't see through it, but you can see lights within the window of the door as Coral walks up. Yeah, Captain. I've got those folks that wanted to talk to you. A couple moments pass. The door opens. Oh, yes, I do recall. Yes, please, gentlemen. Come in.
Of course.
As you walk into the large cabins here, it's kind of standard for a sailing ship. There's a large map table in the center of this room. Further back, there is a long, stout desk upon which there are papers and things strewn. You can see a silver plate that is floating a couple of inches above the desk that has like an inkwell and some stuff on it. And the silver plate, while it's floating, always stays level. So even as the ship moves, the plate holding the ink and everything just kind of stays perfectly level. There's a wall of glass windows out the back, many of which are stained in various arbitrary colors, very festive sort of look. And though there's no light, not very much light coming from beyond, as it's a moonless night. As you enter, there's lanterns all over, and onto one side of the room there's a curtain that covers an alcove. Those of you who sail would suspect the captain's own sleeping quarters to be in this room as well, so probably just that's what's likely behind there. As the man walks in and pulls out a stool from around the map table, sitting down, and remembers himself, gets up and grabs a decanter of wine and puts out some some wooden cups and begins pouring wine. It's highly polished wood. But
Did Coral enter the room with us?
No, not at all.
Okay. Am I allowed to close the room as I walk in last? Close the door.
Coral will do that. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Well, thank you so much. This is so nice.
Yes, of course.
Is this the guy that is one of the ones that I noticed was an illusion?
No. This gentleman, you saw a gentleman step out of a nigh identical room on the Heartbreaker.
Do I notice that he's an illusion?
You
I
can
have
make
the eye on.
He is not concentrating on anything.
Okay.
He begins to pour you all cups of wine. They're short, very stout, wide-bottomed wooden cups, so they don't tilt or roll when Ship moves. Pleasure to make your acquaintance. My name's Fergus Crabwater. Uh, I understand that you're looking for passage, perhaps, on the Sea Maid's Fair, looking to tag along. Um, he pushes the wine towards you. Uh, I'm afraid Sea Maid's Fair does not know when it might be leaving Waterdeep, but we'd be happy to consider you purchasing passage when we do decide to leave. I go, perhaps you could tell me where you're staying, and I could let you know when we plan on leaving.
Well, I would hope to give you a little bit more information, as we have been giving a little bit more information too, that may just direct us the direction of our conversation. Mathis will wave his left hand and cause the Harper tattoo to appear. I have some friends that have let us know that you may be able to help us get to deeper places.
These friends, are they magical tattoo artists, can make disappearing ink? I'm not following.
I'm a part of a secret organization that deals in classified information.
Oh, okay. Yeah. How much have you had to drink tonight?
None. We were told that we may be able to, at least someone in this circus might be able to guide us down into the Underdark to Minzo Baranzan.
You heard wrong.
I don't think I did.
He stands up. I think it's time you left.
I think it's time we have him.
we stayed.
Can I insight check him?
Yeah, of course.
Like, does he seem to know
I mean,
what we're talking about and is
You may certainly make an insight check.
question?
Yeah.
He did exactly what you just role played, right?
Yeah. Would you like to use Jerry Small's insight check?
No, I only asked because, like, from a passive standpoint, he obviously.
No, that's what I mean.
responded.
Would you like to carry on as if Alucard noticed everything that Jerry Smalls just had noticed?
Shh. Now you make it like a metagame. I don't.
yes?
Okay.
Yeah. So you don't really need an insight check to detect that he is he has a very recognizable reaction to that comment.
I understand that this is upsetting, and
I
I know
don't
what I'm
think
asking.
you do.
I think I know a little bit more than you give me credit for, and I understand we coming at him mentioning these things, and I know that everyone is not always what they seem to be, and what I'm asking is a lot. But I wouldn't come in here to bother you if it wasn't of some extreme importance, not least to us, but for the greater good of a lot of things. If you would allow me a few moments of your time, I would be happy
He
to
stands up a little bit straighter. He gains about 3 inches. It seems he was slumping. He kind of has this very straight, strict posture now. Ken, you recognize the posture of someone who knows how to fight hand to hand. As he stands up and adopts a very composed sort of posture. The rest of you can detect that it's mildly defensive, for sure.
I'm standing at the door, and
Okay.
I will mimic his posture
Okay.
perfectly and eye him
As
down.
he uncrosses his arms and pulls back the edges of his captain's coat, you can see a pair of brass handles on either side of his, on the belt on either side of his hips. Tour, make a history check.
In the psychic
That's
link,
17.
all of you hear Iken saying, Bill said no murder. Bill said no murder. No murder. Bill said,
Correct.
Tour, you recognize these items on his waist to be what your people call lead belchers, but handheld lead belchers. They are from Lanton. an
Matsus
island
will say, "Oh,
to the
sorry.
south.
For my
Island
purposes,
kingdom.
is that a blunderbuss?
It's gonna be like a pistol, like a
Pistol,
flintlock.
Yep, yep.
You know that Lanton is an island to the south where a
These are
very
cheaters that,
secluded,
sunk me.
yes, a very secluded group of incredibly talented artificers lives and accepts very few visitors upon their shores. They trade some, but large and by are very secluded. Um, as
Does
this
he
man
look
kind of
like
straightens up.
he's like one of their people?
Lantonese? No, you've never seen a Lantonese person.
Okay.
But you
I
have
figured there was a
heard that
chance,
they have.
considering I got sunk by one of the bitches.
You did not. You got sunk by a pirate ship that had somehow garnered enough scratch to purchase armaments from Lanton, which would have been remarkably expensive.
I'll mention in the psychic link to everybody. Those are lead belchers.
Matsus will say, "Hold, just hold. If we need to, we will. But let's continue on. He's just trying to assert his power here." And I recognize what we're asking and where we are and how intrusive this is, but we need a path to the River Styx. We know that Minza Baranson has an outlet, or say, and all we're asking is for passage there, guidance there, something there. It's remarkably important.
It doesn't
Sid.
have to be you. We need to be there.
Mechanically, can I hold an action, Misty Step, for if he makes any move towards his
No.
weapons? Okay.
You can't hold a bonus action.
Bonus action, right? Got you.
Sorry.
We just need to get there.
I think you do not know of what you speak.
Don't.
I think
We
you do
understand.
not know of what you ask. Tell me why this is so grave to you. To risk your lives. To ask one of
Well-
us to risk ours.
I would be happy to. Would you please take a seat? I don't want this to be confrontational, regardless of how this goes.
Nor do I. But I am more comfortable standing.
Okay. I will tell it to you as it is. I have a friend here. We would be able to try to show you proof. If you're able to scry, you can fact check us if you need to, but here is the story. And perhaps you've heard some. There is a titan currently in the Moonchase, causing uncontrollable growth. It has already taken over the island of Snowdown and is now spreading to the rest of the Moonchase. This titan is Sunurnas. He has been awakened. He's, I'd say, 90 stories tall. And he is coming to, we assume, to wreak havoc upon everything.
He has
Right
actually
now-
already taken over Kaer Caladir, as we assume. We've been away for 2 or 3 extra days.
He is not stopping. The problem will persist. As from now, it's confined to the Moonchase, but we have no reason to believe he will stop there.
As you're talking, his gears are turning. You can see him kind of shifting his eyes back and forth. He's trying to insight you. He's highly skeptical. You can tell this is a lot to swallow. I mean, world-ending
if you
things
want-
happen often, but this is
If you're
So-
wondering exactly why we need to get to the River Styx, it's because which this is going to sound weird, and I think it's weird too. We're apparently going to go see some god about how to stop him.
Actually,
But-
Ao, the
Are going-
overgod.
to see some god.
No, the god, actually.
I am not familiar with your gods.
That's
But-
The god of your god.
neither here nor there.
I doubt that.
But we need passage to the River Styx in order to get to where we
We-
need to go.
What
We
you
will sit
ask
here
is
for an
suicide.
hour if you would like to use our artifact to scry on the moonshays and see this titan for yourself.
I am not very trustworthy of such magics. How could I know
That
this
brings-
artifact is... What you say is impossible. What you ask is suicide. But if you wish to make your case, you need not make it to me. Ridiculous.
It is.
Come with me.
We are.
Come
Everything
with me
about
now.
this is.
Malthus will stand up,
We follow the
finish
guy.
the drink.
He walks now with a purpose. This guy who is... something is clearly not lining up with his movements. It's as if someone had like rigged a 3D skeleton to a mesh that is too small. He's bending in kind of some wrong places now that he's moving quickly and not paying attention. It's kind of portly, handlebar mustache, balding, older white man. Now rushes to the door, opens the door, and begins stomping out. Coral is standing there, kind of looking around. He's, Captain. Coral, if you wouldn't mind just getting everything all in place tonight, I've got business. Aye, Captain, as usual. And he walks past him, heads to one of the dinghies on the side of the boat.
Malthus is saying, "We did good. That was good. We're good. This is all right.
As
You
the
know,
dinghy
it's good. Good job."
is let free of the mechanism and drops into the sea below and throws a ladder over. Swinging a leg over and climbing down with unnatural grace for a creature that appears to be his size. Steps out onto the dinghy. Throws a hood up, cloak he has on.
Ken's just going to float down, flying.
Okay.
Malthus
Again.
will climb the ladder.
Dorn follows.
Okay.
Dale follows.
I mean, Alucard thinks like, I can fly too, and I'm not a hero. He decides to fly. He gives himself the ability to fly, and he flies down.
Okay.
You might be a hero, Alucard. You just don't know it yet.
As you descend, and you land on the dinghy, we are going to take a quick 5-minute break. So, everyone take 5.
Great.
Catch you back here very shortly.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm ready.
Excellent.
I'm glad because mics were hot.
Oh,
I'm
great.
ready. I'm ready. Okay,
Thank you for saying that, because I was about to say something very inappropriate. Okay.
And that's
this is
also
a
on
family show.
camera.
Family show.
Jerry, just say inappropriate things. It's pretty easy. It's fun.
I can only do that in character, because my actual person is not that type of human being.
As you all descend and get into the dinghy, you
Freud has
notice
a lot to
that
say about
Get
that.
into the dinghy, eh?
yeah, you notice that the exposed skin of Fergus Crabwater is a deep gray indigo. He has his hood up, and as he steps down, you all join him in the boat. Not tight quarters, but you're able to fit. As he pushes off away from the side of the boat, and the oars of the ship just begin to row on their own. He stands near the back with there's a rudder that he's able to direct with as the rows begin taking you off.
Dorn says, "Oh, would you like me to light the way?" And he pulls out flame tongue and ignites it at the very front of the thing, and immediately increases it to like the 30-foot bright. 30
It takes
foot.
an action to increase it 5 feet each. So that's immediately you
I'll
mean
take 18 seconds.
yes. Okay.
But don't worry, it gets brighter.
Please do not bring attention to us. Please.
Apologies. I will extinguish it, but keep my hand on the hilt.
He's kind
Like
of
I'll
rubbing his
keep it
eyes like he
strong.
was blinded by the sudden bright light. In fact, most of you are. Just like immediately, it's like when your phone's on full brightness and you check the time at 3 a.m.
It's 3 a.m.
That was entirely unnecessary.
Just trying to help, mate.
Unfortunately, doing more than we need to is a problem we have.
I can tell that you are a group not to be taken lightly. But I warn you, I do not know what you could possibly say that would convince my captain to acquiesce to your request. It is folly.
Well, we've been told that before, and it doesn't really stop us. Not to mention, we really don't have a choice at this point, so we're going to need to speak with him, and we really do appreciate your time and your candor.
As the boat rocks over the waves that are coming in, the surf is coming in against the beach behind you, the dockside. The wind coming off of the sea air, coming off of the bays, brings the scent of salt and brine as the rows dip into the ocean and propel you forward at a somewhat steady pace out into the darkness of the bay. This large area here, which is this to scale? Question mark? Definitely not. Definitely
Yeah,
not.
that's
8 feet.
definitely 8 feet. Yeah, that's 25 feet.
Yeah. As the dinghy continues out, here, oh shoot, here, I said, freaking something. Something's messing me up. I can't ping. Can you guys see that?
Yeah.
Oh, it's just
Sure,
not pinging for me. Okay. Cool. Oh, I don't have a thing on. Yeah. So from
Did
out
you
here
Pac-Man
and here,
things?
and all along these walls, you can see great braziers of firelight lining the walls. You can kind of make those out as landmarks. And as you sail out, there's about 30 minutes of relative quiet, except for the ocean waves. If you'd like to take this opportunity to speak with your escort.
Hey, Mr. Captor. Does Okay, so you said that it's going to take a lot of convincing, and that's great. That's fair. Question: Is he interested in gold at all? Will that help us?
My captain has a certain interest in a particular hoard of gold,
Okay, so but
but
like
I will
not
let
our
him
hoard
tell
of
you more
gold,
about
like
it.
somebody else's hoard.
Does your captain have psychic abilities?
That is a strange question. My captain has many
I would
abilities.
like to know if your captain is going to be able to reach into our minds to understand the depth and terror of the thing that is coming to destroy all land, sea, earth, air, matter that you understand to be this planet.
Okay, I don't think he can do that, no.
Unfortunate.
Again, that was really good, but I think wrong guy.
You can see now, you get a couple of opportunities to catch glimpse of him, especially if you have dark vision. He is very evidently a drow. He has gray, silver white hair, cropped really short. Most drow have long hair. Well, most drow are women, but even drow males have long, sort of Elrond-esque hair. This is like not military cut, but like short and spiky. Um, he's got a scar running down the right side of his face. He's wearing what you might call thief's leathers. They're dark and quiet when they flex. Um, and he's got the pair of flintlocks, lead belters, around his waist. As he's kind of steering the ship, he reaches into his pocket and pulls out a pipe. He uses a strange device. It's like a flint and steel, but it's all in one little circular device. He just spins it, and the flint creates a small flame. And
Did you get that from Slanton, right?
you are more well traveled than I would have expected.
Have you been there, or did you just get it from somebody who's from there?
Wouldn't you like to know?
I would. In fact, I'm from the Shays. The fact that you have that, let's just say I recognize that technology in a very bad way.
It is remarkably dangerous, even sometimes to those who wield it.
Well,
As,
that's good to hear.
my captain is our first contact with surface dwellers on our arrival here was with the Lantanese. They were very welcoming and very interested in what we had to offer. They are
Doesn't sound like them at all.
they are good trade partners with us now. We venture there once a year or so.
Well, when's the last time you went?
About a year or so.
Don't go. Not for another couple months.
He looks at you kind of strangely. I don't think you have to worry about that. The Maiden's Fair does not intend to leave Waterdeep until our mission here is complete.
Well, I hope your mission takes quite some time, at least long enough for us to go and slice Cernanos down. Honestly, next time you're around there, obviously you're not going to believe us, but hey, I'll convince your captain. I won't. One of us will, I'm sure. But hey, next time you go by, go take a look at a snowdown and tell me that we're wrong again after you look at that. Okay?
You are quite intent on this tale. Your father
Oh,
gives
it's
credit to your story.
not a tale, but thank you.
But we shall see.
I have no purpose to lie to you. No reason. No, I have nothing to gain.
Perhaps I do not suspect you are lying. Perhaps I suspect you are simply crazy. Crazy people think they are telling the truth.
Well, the difference is that I don't just think I'm telling the truth, I'm actually telling the truth.
Yes, that's what everyone thinks.
Except not everyone is backed by the emperors of Am and the Moonshays.
The Moonshays have no emperor. Besides
A
which,
king is just an emperor with another name, friend.
no, a king often works for an emperor. King of a kingdom under an empire. It's very specific.
Well, you can be sure that this king doesn't work for that emperor.
Not
Kingdoms
yet,
are
at
such a
least.
strange concept.
I agree. Should be led by a council of elders, always.
We
Makes
have
sense.
queendoms. What I
Ooh,
thought.
that's a good one, actually.
It is
Women
not.
are all smart. They don't go run around and bash their heads against the walls.
They
You do
specifically
not
left
know our
for that
women.
reason.
You seem to know much. Though I suspect that too is not all of it. Not entirely accurate.
I mean, I work for the Supreme Emperor, and he owns everything, so everyone else is just whatever title they want to be.
See, the more you talk out loud, the more I am thinking you are just crazy.
Yeah,
What
yeah,
are we doing?
yeah.
In-
I
in- in
agree.
everybody's
I
mind, I'm
agree.
saying,
I agree
What are
with
we
all
doing
of
here?
this.
Why are we just antagonizing the guy we're trying to convince?
We're
God
not
Hey,
damn.
trying to
I'm not
convince him.
antagonizing,
He
I'm
already
just-
made that point. He doesn't want to be convinced. He said we have to convince his captain.
Shortly,
Is this helping us though?
Hey, I'm just having a conversation with the man. He's got some technology that fucked my people up. I'm just asking, you know?
shortly the dinghy passes through this gate and heads out to a ship moored in the depths beyond Deepwater Isle. A large luxury galleon, resplendent, with jewels encrusting the figurehead, which is fashioned to look like a screaming beholder, its eyes all pointed forward, each stalk holding a different bright, massive gem in place of an eye. The rest of the ship is also decked in gold. Uh, there's a reason this is seldom seen from shore. As you look on, you can see from this distance there are a number of crew members. They all appear to be human. And as you make your final approach, in the dinghy, a ladder is rolled out, slapping against the side of the ship as it lands. The rope ladder. I will go first. He climbs up.
I'll go up second.
I'll
Okay.
go last.
As you all climb aboard, following after him, as soon as he lands aboard the deck, his visage returns to that of the kind of overweight human male. But he still has that posture. There are a bunch of humans, apparently, moving about the deck. Though you hear more activity below deck. It seems to be there's some drinking and carousing going on deep below. The people who are up here are mostly moving about, fixing rigging and checking on stuff, and they seem to be about a task, some of them mopping. The castle, I don't know if that's what it's called. I seem to think that's what it's called. The tower, the portion at the back of this ship in which the captain's quarters reside, and on top of which the steering wheel, I'm also sure that's not what it's called, is located. Seems to
That's
be
called the helm.
Or the funnel? No, that's the.
the
No, it
helm.
is the
wheel?
helm. He's right.
The
The
wheel
helm
is
of the
the
ship.
helm.
The helm. Yeah. So the castle, the portion from the main deck up to the helm on this ship appears to be about 16 feet tall. So it could be it's a very tall ceiling in the captain's quarters, or it's multiple floors. As you approach, he leans back over and says to you, Oh, forgive my manners. Welcome to the Eye Catcher. Are you prepared?
Stunning.
It's very eye-catching.
Kid,
As prepared as we're going
Ye-
to be, I think.
I was not here for the last at least 3 minutes. Can you at least tell me a small bit of what just happened?
We boarded a ship with him.
Pointless roleplay. We're on a big boat. It's real pretty. It looks like a beholder up front with gems and gold.
The figurehead looks like a beholder?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Eye stalks aren't eyes, but they're gems instead.
They're all pointed
Massive
forward,
rubies
and it's screaming.
sapphires, and yeah. Mhm.
Okay.
And the ship is called the Eye Catcher.
The ship is called the Eye Catcher.
Okay. Thank you.
You're
Yes,
welcome.
Right.
Glad I could help.
As he approaches a pair of double doors, decked in gold filigree around the outsides. They're mahogany, polished. He walks up and opens one. If you will wait here, I will introduce you. Don't touch anything or talk to anyone.
Sure. Sounds good.
If anyone
Matt
asks
just
you
rolls
why
to
you are
his
here,
lips.
tell them that you are with Fergus.
We're not supposed to talk to anyone.
Closes the door behind him as he goes.
I like the antagonizing. That was good.
Oh my god, we're trying to get them to do a favor for us that we realize is difficult, guys. What the fuck are you doing?
Look, they're pirates, man.
Yeah.
the
Okay,
circus?
fair. Actually, never mind. Okay.
It's a pirate circus?
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, are we on a boat?
And
We're not really going
We're not
fast,
going
though.
fast.
We're kind of docked.
I don't have my flippy floppies.
Gosh dang it! I was trying to be serious.
yeah, let's
I don't
try
have my
and...
swim
None of that
trunks.
here.
Okay.
Fantasies use diplomacy. Dun, dun. It's super
Okay.
effective.
Okay, I was
Dun,
pretty sure
dun,
that was
dun,
battle
dun.
music.
What is it? DMCA?
So
I'm
we're just waiting while the door is closed right now.
Yes, you are out outside of this pair of double doors. As the crew members around you are going about their business. People kind of give you a strange eye, but otherwise kind of keep their head down.
I strange eye them back.
The ship
I
rocks a little bit
strange
heavier
eyed them
out
with the
here.
monocle.
Okay. You see no one concentrating on a spell.
Uh,
The ship rocks more
Ekin is
heavily out
going to
here in
try
deep water.
to like focus on acrobatics routine to pretend that we've been fast tracked to like see the captain as like a premiere act.
Okay. Yeah, looking around, you see that there is no semblance or relation to the circus
This is not the circus. Okay.
on the
I
eye
won't do that.
catcher.
Okay.
On the eye catcher, you see no props, you see no carnies.
These are like straight up pirates.
They appear to be human sailors.
Private sailors. Oh boy, we're gonna die. Okay.
Dorm will just focus on trying to regain his sea legs from his past and like
Mhm.
finding what the rhythm of the boat is and just getting used to just standing.
When
We
we
should-
got here, were there cannons? Did we see like cannon ports, or is this like a primarily ferrying ship for people?
Make
like,
a no.
No?
You don't know what a
Okay.
cannon is, but you also didn't see anything.
It didn't
like
look
that.
like it was a military ship.
It did not appear to be armed. No, it seems to be a
Okay.
luxury barge.
Okay.
But you do recall that Vale also noticed a very powerful illusion over the other two ships.
Sure.
that made them look like something they were not.
My,
When he had true seeing up.
Yes.
my
yeah.
Devoy has blind sight.
It looks just like a ship in black and white.
But not
That's
true sight.
That's great news. Sure, but just like regular image altering illusions do not deceive blind sight.
Out to 10 feet. Would you like to
Yes.
further investigate?
Well, I mean, I
with him?
climbed up the side with
Yeah,
the boy.
and upon that path, you notice nothing unusual.
Okay, that's cool.
Mathesis will say inside when we're waiting in the telepathic bond that we should assume that
How long do we
Every-
still have that up for?
About 10 minutes.
everyone should assume that we are surrounded by a bunch of drow also hiding, and that everyone on this ship is probably ready to fight. So,
No
Must be not-
murder today. No murder.
right, you got
No,
it, you
they
got it,
think
bud.
that they probably think that there was someone trying to take them back to their enslavement, potentially, at the very least. I don't know. That's what I would think. I don't know. I've never been.
We didn't ask them to come with us.
We kind of did.
Well, they do have to escort us, at least one
We
of them.
approached.
I mean, just
we
give
approached
us-
them and
A map.
That's not how that works.
yeah.
How do you know that's? Have you been there? We could. It
No,
could
but
be
I-
that that's how that works.
I've done navigation before. I know that ain't how that works.
The door opens.
Well, regardless, we just need to make sure we get somewhere.
The captain will see you now. Please come with me.
Thanks.
He still looks like the old man right now.
He does.
Okay.
As you follow him, he's also not concentrating on anything. As you follow him inside, immediately past these doors, there's a small antechamber. So like there's the doors that you walk into, and then about 15 feet on, there's another set of double doors. This one has stained glass all down the front of it, within a mahogany frame on each one. It's a pair of double doors. The stained glass seems to depict, like in the center of it, one half globe on each door. It is a depiction of the planet, and around it are the sun and moon and stars in stained glass. On either side of this narrow hallway, there are paintings hung that depict idyllic scenes with like palm trees and white sand beaches, but also slits, or like arrow slits between each painting. So there's 3 slits on each side. This could be very easily made into a kill box. You detect pretty quickly. As he leads you across this 10-foot span, opens the door beyond. Please be respectful.
Mathesis will walk in first.
Okay.
Dorn
Uh,
follows.
Ken will follow as well.
All right. You enter a very dimly lit room. The lanterns hanging from the walls here have a blue light to them that is turned like all the way down. It's almost like firelight, but just the lantern oil has been turned down so much that it's just a blue flicker. Beyond a large table that is filled with sand. There's a large circular table that has a 6-inch deep well carved into the top of it. There's a rim basically around this. And within that, there is just pure white sand. It just seems to be disheveled and tossed about within the table. And upon it, there are a number of little miniature wooden ships sitting at various places on the sand. Beyond that, there is a man standing very straight. He has a large brimmed hat with a purple plume coming out one side. He's got very fine clothing on, clearly a drow. I can actually show you a picture. But not from the playlist tab.
Why not?
That's not where he lives.
But he could.
Nope, he literally cannot.
Oh.
That's Foundry's rule, not mine.
I was told never to take no from an inanimate object. So, like, if...
I wouldn't even call it. I wouldn't even call it inanimate object. Can we say that?
Mods exist.
Your
Just
computer
mod it.
is an inanimate object?
Yes, that's true. But is thereby Foundry somehow an inanimate object?
Does it run on your computer?
It does, but
Is
I
it an
run on
object?
the street,
I mean,
and that doesn't make
it's
the street
something.
me.
Yeah, and really, once it starts running, it's pretty animated.
I mean, we're just talking a bunch of
It's an
electric
object, though.
signals being
But
on
you're
or
missing
off.
the question. The
so-
question is,
Whoa,
is
whoa,
it an
whoa,
object?
whoa! I am sorry.
Wait, don't most computers have the capability of animating nowadays?
Yeah. Again, the Discord is the object that we're talking about. Is Discord an object? Is the question. Not is it animate. It is animate, clearly. And also, we're not in Discord.
You're right,
Foundry is the
it's
actual
Foundry.
thing. Sorry, that's what I was looking for.
Indeed.
Is a program an object?
So,
Is the...
Well, there's object.
can you see
programming.
Can you all see the image of
Yes.
this gentleman?
Yes, wonderful.
Brilliant.
Back on track.
Um,
Here we go.
What'd you
Is
say?
he smiling like that?
He is not.
Does
There
he
is
have a
no
rapier like
hint
that?
of a smile upon his eyes as you walk in. He does have his hand on his, kind of casually on his rapier.
Does the rapier look familiar?
Does he have spiky teeth?
Did we see the rapier on the
Are we
tomb
about to
of a
die?
specific vampire?
He
No,
has
this is not that
spiky
rapier.
teeth.
Not all fancy rapiers are the same fancy rapier, Mason.
All right.
Yeah, but we wanted to
Worth the
really make sure
question.
that that wasn't the same fancy rapier.
I see. I understand. As you enter, the gentleman who led you in, whose name you suspect is definitely not Fergus, closes the door behind you. So I have been led to believe that you have come here inquiring about a passage to Menzo Baranz.
That's
Come
correct.
in, sit down, stay a while.
Is there a couch?
Sorry, there are cushioned chairs positioned around the circular sand pit.
I
Table.
sit cross-legged on the floor.
Okay. You will have a hard time seeing him.
Asks for seats and instinctually doesn't choose them. Got it.
Mathis will sit in a chair. Try to be as directly across from the guy.
He's standing.
Yeah.
So he, forgive me, I always forget. He walks over to a knob on a wall and turns it. This is very like steampunk-esque. And he does the lamps come up to about probably halfway of their brightness, and they are like petrol lamps all around, and a warm orange glow fills the room. He kind of winces. The room is decorated with fine luxuries. Silk pillows line a long bench that rests against the back wall of windows that peers out to the horizon. You can see stars just forever onto the ocean horizon beyond, as it's positioned such that it's facing out away from Waterdeep. But there are also windows on either side, smaller port windows, through which you can see the hazy glow of Waterdeep and the mountain in the distance. You're about a mile out into Deepwater Bay, outside the city's official purview. There's a suit of armor, just like an ornamental suit of armor. There's a number of other eclectic things. There's a globe, one of the big fancy globes in a stand that rolls around in any direction. It's kind of almost as if by magnets floating there. So, you have said enough insane things to have convinced my very fine captain to have brought you before me. Who are you? What are
We
you looking
are-
to do?
We are a group known as the 11th Ornament. We are looking to gain passage or locate the River Styx in order to travel to the Overgod Ao in order to beseech his help in fighting the Titan Sudernas that is currently beseeching the Moonshay Isles.
See, I was hoping that maybe there was just a translation or confusion.
No, we're
Epezrin
quite
just did not
serious.
understand you. That particular string of words is absurd, you realize?
Oh no, I did not wake up a few weeks ago expecting to be searching this out, but here we are.
2 weeks ago.
Do I still have the scars from the crystals lodged in my arm from where the
Scythe.
scythe bound to my flesh?
You don't have many scars. If magical healing didn't cure scars, you would be a roadmap of scars.
Right. of
Um,
course. I
you've
just
been
if it
injured
was a
greatly.
artifact of
Yeah, I will say that your most recent scars are just like angry, puckered wounds from the vampires
Sure.
that haven't really fully been healed.
Gotcha.
I recognize how fantastical this does sound, but even so, reality is not often as crazy. Reality is often as crazy as something could be. We have an artifact that will allow you to scry if you'd like to see for yourself, but I would not be here asking for what I'm asking from who I know I'm asking it from, and understanding at least part of your situation, if it was not the only thing I could do.
Is your tattoo still visible? Mathesis?
No, I would have to show it.
Okay.
He this gentleman takes a deep breath, puts his arms behind his back, walks away from you and walks back to there's a perfectly semicircular like curved desk that faces out away from the entrance beyond, out at the sea. He walks up to it and opens a drawer and pulls out a crystal decanter that appears to have slightly green milk in it. He pulls out a single crystal glass and sets it down. It's a footed glass, it's wine glass. He pours a liquid that is heavily viscous, like a milkshake, into the wine glass. Puts it back, takes the glass, turns back to you. He walks up and just gestures at the table in front of you. The sand begins to swirl around. It begins to take the form of terraformed, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like
Cliffs?
when maps have lines that are close.
Topography?
Topographical. Thank you. He appears to take the visage of a topographical landscape. The sand pushes all the ships to the side, and they slide up onto a little wooden shelf at the edge of the table. And it instantly, as the sand kind of almost sandcastles itself into a topographical map, he walks back over. He points. Here is Minzo Baranzan. You can see on this topographical map there is a city that appears to just cut off halfway up. Like the towers that rise up are just because the city actually, from what you remember of it, is made up of hollowed out stalagmites and stalactites. So this map, which is like basically a cross section but vertically of the enormous cavern, which looks very vaguely familiar to you. There's a large, perfectly flat area of the sand, which you take to be the lake, where you had come in from the Feywild. And you can see the city is very small on this scale. It's just kind of probably a 2 mile or so area.
Maths just warns in everybody's mind. That looks familiar, but don't mention the fact that it looks familiar.
Menzo Baranzin's soldiers patrol far and wide around its borders. This is one of the largest open areas in all of the Underdark. They have enormous sightless bats, which they use as mounts to patrol this area. They are some of the only Drow society to possess such creatures, as they would be useless in most of the Underdark. Beyond that, there is an oppressive darkness around the city. It's placed there magically, intentionally. Easy enough to see, but see the city from a distance. But if you were to get very close to it, and you are not of Drow descent, your vision would grow weaker. Unable to see very far away from you. Everything would appear as if it were in a haze or fog. If you aren't specifically female Drow descent. Beyond the borders of Menzo Baranzin, you run the risk, the very real risk, of encountering those creatures which haunt the Underdark, which are not to be taken lightly. Anything brazen enough to have not been hunted away eons ago by Drow is worth considering a threat. He makes this kind of motion, and the whole thing kind of zooms out. It ripples as the sand reconfigures, and now the lake is much smaller. From what I understand, this lake is a small subsidiary of the Styx, far enough away that it doesn't really retain that same deadly essence. You do know not to touch the water of the Styx. I assume you must, since you've on this insane journey.
We know that it is dangerous, yes. Don't exactly know why it's dangerous, but we were told to not touch it.
Oh, I'm sorry. Forgive my manners. Spider's milk, anyone?
No, I'm good.
Very well.
I'll take a glass.
Sure.
Indeed. Heads over and pulls out 2 more glasses and pours.
As he's doing this, he's like, Alucard says in his head, like, milk from an actual giant spider? Because that, I didn't know they produced milk.
He hands you
Just take it.
a pair of glasses. He puts one down. Tink, tink.
Alcohol's a poison. Do you think that this counts?
As he continues to gesture. You'll never get
Matt's just picks his
past
tricks.
Menzo Baranzin. Trolls will surely see you. They will have better sight than you. They will have better mobility than you. How do you intend to combat that?
Well, it's why we're here.
The
We
nearest
know that
Incredibly
we
stealthy if we need to be.
we know that we are not. We know that we don't know what we're going into. We were told that there was a group of Drow as a circus, and that you might be
Told
a-
by whom?
contacts of mine, and I'll show the Harper's tattoo on my hand. No one is interested in outing you. No one is interested in talking with you. We found out solely because of the type of mission we are assigned to do.
Should never have dealt with that damned clone.
Oh, you've met a clone.
In any event, even if you were to get past Menzo Baranzin, you'd have to survive the wilds of the Underdark. Especially near the river Styx, they are remarkably dangerous because any number of creatures occasionally finds their way in the various other places that the Styx might touch, assuming they can survive its acrid ebb and flow. They are, to be quite blunt, deadly at a demigod scale. How do you intend? The nearest entrance to the Underdark is in Luskin. You travel for months from there to get to Minzo Baranzan. You're looking at 3 months before you even arrive here.
Well, there's got to be a way.
Have not that
I
kind of
know
time.
that there is a problem. I know that this is not going to be easy. Please remember that the whole point of this goal is to attempt to beseech a god to help us fight a titan.
Yes, no, I had not forgotten.
We know that this is not a walk in the park. We're asking for help. We're asking for guidance. We're asking for anything to help us literally save the world here.
Would access to our memories and feelings allow you to understand better what we attempt to do?
I have no interest in such an intimate connection with you. I barely know you.
There's a
That
question.
was not my question.
That was his answer,
I
though.
have no interest in such a connection.
So, is there not a way to teleport to a closer location in the Underdark?
Well, certainly, if you possess such magical means as that, and know the correct sequence or teleportation circle.
I happen to be able to do that.
My people, specifically my people, Bregenderth, they have very little skill in magic. Male drow are not permitted to study magic. Not where we're from. So I cannot help you with that. We have fantastical artifacts, produce magical effects on behalf of our very close allies and friends in Lantan, but we do not possess much magical acumen on our own.
Is there a way that you could get us a teleportation, the sequence for a teleportation circle?
Do you-
Is there a possibility that you could
No,
give us a map or some sort of guide to this lake?
I am not a cartographer. I could
Do you
ask
have
one
something
of
from
my...
there?
What is it worth to you?
What is it worth to you?
I'm not even sure if this will work or matter.
I need information.
But you are not willing to give the quote-unquote intimacy to receive it.
That's not what he's saying. You don't need to mind meld it to share information.
If he could just see what we've seen.
If he could, but he won't, and that's understandable. I don't always like it either, personally. I'll tell you.
Is this all happening in your minds? You two?
No, I'm
Well, I don't
saying
know.
I'm speaking out loud.
I assumed that was out loud.
I have no trust for mental contact. But that's neither here nor there. No, the information I seek would be as payment. It's nothing to do with your Titanic issue.
What is it that you would like to know?
There is a vault hidden underneath Waterdeep by its previous ruler, Neverember. that vault contains a great deal of treasure, among other very important things. Things that I have been tasked with. Things. The acquisition of which is part of an ultimatum given to me to get what I ultimately want. Information about this vault would go a long way to my assisting you.
Above
have-
table, he said he's trying to pay somebody off. Is that what he said? Like he
owes somebody
necessarily.
something.
owes somebody.
He may
some
owe
degree.
somebody something, or he just needs this information to prove his worth to get something. But again, above table, we don't really like. We wasted 3 days waiting for magic items, in which probably the entire island where Caladir is gone. We don't really have time to go into a dungeon and like do a whole.
We also
thing.
don't have, but also even getting their help, if you're getting to that point, it's 3 months before he could help us anyway. Like, to get to where we need to be before we even can
To
start
Luskan,
to get into
yeah.
those dungeons, that's 3 months too. So there are other things, if you're getting to that point, there are other things to talk about there.
He turns around,
We're just going down the
goes
wrong
to the
path.
bench behind him that is at the edge of the glass window, angles up behind him, facing the sea, pulls a drawer open, pulls out a false bottom, and pulls out a black iron collar with leather around the interior of it, well worn. It's like one of these that snaps shut like a manacle, but large enough for a human neck. There's a fine chain that kind of comes off of it. He wraps it. Yes, I have something from Minzo Brandon.
Is that something useful to you, Vale, in what you were thinking?
I don't know if it's useful for me, but I know that having things, I think that having things tied to a place is usually helpful. It could be, maybe, I don't know.
If you get me information on this vault, actionable information, I will beseech my crew to see if any of them would be interested in being hired by you as a guide.
What
Have
is
you-
even the chance that you would have someone that would be willing to go, given how you've spoken about Menzo Brandon?
Very low.
Mathesis will say in everybody's mind, it could be the case that we can leverage some information from the Black Staff, given we've made a contact there, and it also could be the case that Esfil could assist with us teleporting to there if we could get someone. We could cut our travel time if we could find a way to teleport there. Having a guide sounds a lot better than not having a guide.
I would agree with
Ken
this.
is just going to respond with the image of the Titan kicking the sea, causing titanic waves and screaming at it.
What do you want me to do? What is the
Find a
play?
better way to dig down to where we need to be then.
We
I
take
know
this man out, we take the thing, and then we go to Esfel and not waste time. We are six
You are
versus
6
2 in this room.
in this room. How many
There-
drow are on the ship?
There
Do you
are
know? Because I
don't.
there
don't.
are arrow holes in the room, as if this room was meant to be.
The room before this is the kill box, not this room. There are windows outside.
Oh, cool. Yes, I get
That's,
left in the kill box every time. You all run out and I'm left there. I'm not kidding. I'm not doing this again.
You all are awfully quiet, considering my offer.
Have you given us all the information about this vault that you are in possession of?
I know very little about it. I know that it was left by Neverimber. It contains some very important artifacts. I'm sure that you could walk away with all the gold you could put in your pockets. But
Yes,
I'm not asking
gold's
you to
going to
find
help
it for
us.
me. I'm just asking for information about it. Last I heard, there's a man called Xanathar who knows more about it, but has not been able to get in.
Right, but
Oh, I
you
get it.
don't specifically.
Can I make a history check on not that
Sure.
that thing that you just said, but the just for rumors on the I'm cool with not knowing anything about what you just said.
Sure.
But on rumors about the vault you're talking about.
Yes, please do.
Hey, that's a 20, 30.
Okay, BRB.
I do get left in kill box all the time, guys.
What do you
You
mean?
do.
That's never happened.
You know,
I've never
like
cast
the
a
Ucho
fireball
fight
at you.
when
Never.
yeah, and the
Let's just like, you can mount me. There you go.
Oh.
truthfully, in the Ooptail fight, I should have actually been able to get out quicker because I forgot that I could have done the thing that I did to get out of the other fight, but I did it in the bottom floor and at the top floor, which was the issue there.
Escape room.
So yes,
Yeah.
Vale, you are aware of rumors of the Vault of Dragons, which is rumored to be hidden beneath Waterdeep. There are a number of people looking for it, have been for a very long time. But you do know that it would be worth more than all the gold in the vault itself for the Open Lord of Waterdeep to be able to claim it had been recovered. It is the trove of the previous tyrant of Waterdeep, and just the fact of finding it and returning the artifacts and funds to the possession of the city would mean a lot to Laeral Silverhand. And above table 2, remember that you guys do have, maybe you don't remember, you potentially have a much faster way to get to Menzo Branson. You were offered passage by way of the Sahwagan, who are
Oh.
allies.
Oh
of-
yeah,
I forgot about that.
Allies
As long as
of
we have a map,
Tours
we
people.
don't need to do this.
You could go to their kingdom of Kresalak. They're expecting you, and they will assist you getting to Menzo
Yeah, because they
Branson.
said we're supposed to drop something into the water that they know we own, and they'll just come get us.
Yes.
But they said they don't know the path specifically.
But they do know how to enter the Underdark. They just don't know how to
Don't know
get to Menzo Branson.
Menzo Branson.
So we would need someone to help us. Like we would need a map, some sort of guide, some sort of something to get to the place we need to go once we're in the Underdark. But we have a place to get to the Underdark.
Do you have a map that we could buy from you for gold without going on your quest?
I don't have a map of the Underdark. Me and my compatriots barely escaped with our lives. All I have of that place is sitting on the table in front of you.
Mathis will say it could be the case that we say we'll look into it. We go back to Waterdeep, see if we could find a map. If we can't, to at least have this option.
You are awfully quiet.
Well,
this is a very difficult. Just and everything. Yeah.
You seem quite adamant.
the world is under attack. Would you not be?
Depends on whose world.
The world, the one that all the other worlds exist on, or at least the one that we seem to be on at the moment. I can't promise you will find information, but we'll look. If we find something, we'll definitely let you know.
Very well. This is important to me. You seem very capable.
I would say that's a good assessment.
What could I offer that would make it more enticing?
You could offer
Guaran-
to be our guide in the Underdark.
Or guarantee us a guide.
We
What
may have a way.
teleport is there?
We're under a time constraint. Every day that goes by is more land lost and more lives lost.
2
So-
days and he took the island of Snowdown by himself. 2 days. It has been
So
3 days since then.
we just don't want to get down to the Underdark and be meandering around, or getting all this work and not even have an assurance that we'll at least have someone there who knows something more than we do about the place we're going.
I understand. I understand your position. I will not mandate any one of my people return there. I cannot. It's not worth anything. Nothing would be enough to make someone return. But I will ask. If that is all.
From one ex-slave to another, you would all die to risk your freedom.
You think slavery is what I fear most? Please leave if you have nothing further.
In Elvish, I'll say, if you don't mind me asking, I do have a question.
Your dialect and he responds in Elvish. Your dialect and accent are grating.
I'm not very good at this language. I'm not particular. I don't use it very much.
You just speak like a surface born. But yes, what may I help you with?
Do you know of a man by the name of Yolithin Kodrekai?
What?
I do not know this man.
After listening to him talk in his dialect, I'm gonna respond in Elvish, trying to mimic his dialect using my, changeling stuff, and say,
You have to listen to him for a minute to do that?
maybe. I'm gonna try though. Just- I'm talented. We could try this.
Okay.
You could wait
Uh,
a couple seconds too. I'm sure they're gonna keep talking. Just if that was an issue.
I'm gonna go anyway. Mathis would totally do this.
Okay.
But you did mention a clone earlier.
I did.
I happen to be looking for a clone.
Oh, so now that's 2 pieces of information you need from me. I suppose you'd better find that vault. He says in common. It is very late.
We understand any of that through the mental link, or has that faded?
Well, you no longer have
Where is-
telepathic bond.
Okay.
If Chavis wanted to connect out, he could broadcast. Did either of you try the spider's milk?
I
tasted,
did.
yeah.
I
drank
did,
the spider milk.
Okay, make a Constitution saving throw.
Great. Oh, I can actually drink it, so it's like something that's not alcohol or drugs. Okay.
Hold on, let me find.
Constitution saving throw.
Dale's gonna tell the others about this because he doesn't like being kept out of things, and this is the only language he knows outside of Common. So he's
Okay.
eavesdropping.
Yeah,
But
Uh,
not
Dorn
right
actually
now.
understands
Just-
Elvish as well. So
Constitution saving throw. You said right? Okay.
I did.
Dang, I don't have a Tides of Chaos. Okay, here we go.
What do you mean you don't have Tides of Chaos?
Um,
Is it a long rest? Right. When does it recharge?
on a long rest, but if I use
Ah,
I used
got
it
it.
already.
No, that was on
Yeah.
a long rest is the keyword. That I was-
Alucard and
Wait,
well,
I would like to, before I know what happens, I would like to use
mhm.
sorcery point for magical guidance to give myself a D4
Okay.
and add to the roll.
All right.
So that's a 16.
16. Okay. It tastes strangely sour, and fermented. It's not unpleasant. If the first taste is unpleasant because it's not at all what you expect. It doesn't taste like milk. It doesn't taste like. It has a much more fruity, like fermented flavor. And the smell is like. Have you ever smelled dough rising? Just the smell of yeast.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you drink it, the taste versus the smell is so worlds apart that it kind of startles you. But upon your second or third sip, it's actually not unpleasant. Um, it's not as thick as it looks. It's got like the consistency of like eggnog in your mouth, and it just has this sort of sour, creamy. What's a good example? Like a sour beer that is also kind of hazy. Maybe you haven't had anything like that. Jerry doesn't like beer.
I've had a sour before. I've had unicorn farts.
Oh
Whatever
yes,
thing is
the unicorn
called.
parts. It's something like that, sure.
The one that tastes like Fun Dip.
There's a beer that tastes like Fun Dip.
Yeah, I had it tonight. Actually, it was crazy.
Also, you begin. Your vision begins to dim very slightly. You can detect that this is some kind of intoxicant that dulls your visual senses. Perhaps because drow see everything so clearly in all light at such sharp clarity. Like it's a constant overload. This is one of their impairments that they enjoy, like being drunk is an impairment that you can enjoy because it's a relief from thinking. You don't feel addled in your mind at all, but your vision begins to dim. Not to the point that it's a disadvantage, but because
Yeah.
you didn't have very much.
Well, thank you very much for your kindness and for the time.
He gestures to the door.
Matsus will get up to leave.
I look like it as well and go.
All right. Is everyone leaving the room?
Did we ever
Yeah.
get the captain's name?
No.
I don't think we did. Okay, that's fine. Okay.
As you exit out onto the main deck. That's what we're going to call it for tonight.
Shit.
Spoopy.
I didn't realize how late it was.
Yep. So, thanks for joining. Hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. We will catch everyone again. Hopefully the audio is working this week for the VOD so that people can kind of catch up if they're watching this back. And next week on the 11th Ornament.
11th Ornament.
How will the party proceed? Under a time crunch, limited options, not very persuasive gentlemen in their path. We shall see. We shall see. Good night, everyone.
Bye.
Good night.
Good night.